Last weekend, the Houston Aeros split 2 tough games with the Las Vegas Thunder to start the homestand. Greg Hoggood scored 2 goals, leading Las Vegas to a 6-2 win in Game 1 before the Aeros came back to win in Game 2 5-4 in a shootout. Hey, check it out. It's the Jacks and the Aeros next on Prime Sports. Live from the Summit in Houston, Texas, Prime Sports and the Houston Aeros present International Hockey League action. Tonight, the Houston Aeros take on the Cleveland Lumberjacks. A very pleasant good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Summit. I'm Adam Gordon. It's the Aeros and the Lumberjacks, and the Aeros coming off a 5-4 win Saturday night over the Las Vegas Thunder, and with that, they now have 4 wins on the year, 8 points, 4 back of the Orlando Solar Bears, while Cleveland 7-6-1 with 15 points, 1 back of the division-leading Detroit Vipers. I bring in my broadcast partner, Mike Greenlay. Greener, Aeros have been very busy, and they make a huge acquisition, acquiring center iceman Mark Lamb.
I don't know how he did it, but they somehow got Mark Lamb, a big acquisition, as you say. He's a good, strong two-way player who can add a lot of scoring touch, but he's also good defensively.
Yeah, and I think with Mark Lamb, Mark Freer, Paul DiPietro, I think the Aeros have the best core of center icemen in the IHL. And that takes us to the line changes that maybe the Aeros will make tonight, even though Lamb won't be in the lineup.
Well, Freer's usually with Conroy and Arneal. Now he's going to be down with Turgeon and Slivchenko as you see the switch. Turgeon and Slivchenko have been very successful this far this year, and I think Freer is going to really get a boost from these two guys.
Yeah, Mark Freer, a goal and 4 assists after 11 games. Who would have thought?
Well, he's a professional. He's going to bounce out of this. I think it's a good idea to put him down with a line that's doing well, and I say he's going to jump out of that slump pretty soon.
Yeah, the thing about Mark Freer is when he does break out of a slump, it's usually in bunches. It could be tonight. It's time for the Oshman's Game Plan, brought to you by Oshman Super Sports USA. The last time the Aeros had a layoff, Greener, they struggled against the LA Ice Dogs.
Well, they certainly did. They had 4 days off this week, and it's going to be big for them to be mentally prepared for tonight. One of the second key, which is going to be big, is to get out of the gate fast. The Cleveland Lumberjacks have won their last 3 games, and Lalim, the goaltender, has been the starter all those times. They're going to get on him early. And next, like we talked about, changes. Cipriano retired because of injuries. Townsend moved to Minnesota on loan. Of course, Mark Lamb, who isn't here yet, he's still an acquisition. And of course, the power play. The power play has been worked on a lot this week because we watched them in practice, and so that'll be a bit of a change as well. They'll have to key on that.
All right, up next, we'll throw it to the clubhouse. We'll be right back. Houston Aeros Hockey on Prime Sports is being brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Fly Southwest, the low-fare airline. By your participating Texas Chrysler, Plymouth, Dodge, and Jeep and Eagle dealers. By Columbia HCA Healthcare Corporation, a new commitment to healthcare together. By Texaco Clean System 3 gasolines. Add more life to your car, take it to the star. And by the Gatorade Company. If you're living life to the fullest, you're gonna get thirsty. That's why you need Gatorade Thirst Quencher. Life's a sport, drink it up. Our special color commentator tonight, Jody Goldstein of the Houston Chronicle, and let us quickly go through tonight's starting lineups brought to you by Southwest Airlines for the Cleveland Lumberjacks. Starting up front, Mike Stevens, Victor Gervais, and Len Barry. Defensively, Dave Basigio and Corey Foster. And in goal, it is Patrick Lalim. He has been on fire in this road swing for Cleveland. 3 wins, 2 losses on the year, 4.24 goals against. Looking at the Houston Aeros lineup, again brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Mike Yeo, Mike Maurice, Scott McCrory up front with Gord Donnelly, Miles O'Connor defensively, and the man in goal was the man that was on fire. It was Troy Gamble. He's 1-4 on the year, picked up his first win against Las Vegas, but he was stellar, as he has been all season long. The Aeros in their home whites, the Lumberjacks in their road blacks, trimmed with a little teal, white, and gray, and they'll shoot the puck into the Aeros zone as we're underway from Houston. Puck down. Donnelly touches, and icing is the call. And I want to welcome Jody Goldstein of the Chronicle. You make your television debut. Welcome.
Thanks, Adam.
Is that all you have to say is thanks, Adam? You know, Jody covered the Aeros last year. Has it been tough? You cover the Oilers now for the Chronicle, but I know there's a little soft spot in your heart for the Aeros.
There will always be a soft spot for the Aeros. Of course, at the beginning of the season when they weren't winning, it was maybe nice not to be here, but as they start winning a few games, it's hard to stay away.
Oh, she's jumping on the bandwagon, folks. Here she comes. They've won 4 of 6, and the Aeros starting to turn things around, and it's sort of like the 0-6 was a distant memory. O'Connor for Houston in his own zone. For the Aeros trying to move it to McCrory. He's bumped by Gervais. Lumberjacks dig it out. Lumberjacks turning in the Aeros zone. It was centered, knocked free. In there was Mike Stevens. He centered it, but the Aeros turn it and tip it and clear it right back down the ice. 30 seconds gone. Icing indicated as the Jacks are back, and whistle stops play. No score.
Well, Adam, I think this is a little bit of payback time for the Aeros as they lost their last game when they were in Cleveland. I think they're going to look to really jump on Lalime and the whole Cleveland Lumberjack team as both, I guess, Gamble and the Aeros want a little bit of payback.
It was an 8-4 loss that the Aeros were dealt, and Rick Patterson, the head coach of the Lumberjacks, had an interesting situation where he had started Philip DeRuvel in the game, but he had hurt his back after the second period, did not come out in the third, and it was Patrick Lalime that had started. The game was pretty well out of hand at that point, but both goalies have had a chance in the first meeting against one another to play. As a shot deflected in front, Aeros trying to move it out of there. DiPietro for Houston turning right side, banked it to Conroy, came to the line, not out, held in at the left point. Mark Osborne turned it down, a shot by McElwain, high and wide of the net. Aeros trying to clear. Conroy rolls one to DiPietro, and the Aeros come to center. Arneal down the left side, trying to make his move. He cuts right in a goal. He will shoot. Oh, and a great save made by Lalime as he got down to cover up, and he will hold on. So the Aeros making that first pass, and they talked about your first pass out of your defensive end is so crucial, and the Aeros got a good one from Paul DiPietro to start that rush.
Well, DiPietro, he made a very good pass, and he beat a player with it, and then Arneal beats another player as he steps around, and Arneal just didn't get enough. I think the puck got away from him there as he didn't get enough wood on that. Otherwise, he'd have tried to slam it home or feed it to the back door. But Lalime covered the ground very nicely there, and Arneal wasn't able to tuck one home.
Face off to the right of Lalime. Laniel drifting down the left side. Laniel turning it down for DiPietro. DiPietro centered one. It hits, sticks, and skates and bounced out, and the Lumberjacks are off to center ice. Left side, it's Dave McElwain. Hoisted into the Aero zone. Chipped away by Laniel, but couldn't get it out of the end. It's reversed along the boards. Conroy knocked it down. Conroy right side trying to get it out of there. It was held to the left wing by Jock Callender. Now Gamble out of the net from behind the cage, trying to get it to Arneal. It was chipped away to the line and out at center ice. Here comes Al Conroy. Tipped one for DiPietro. Jams one right in there. And a glove save made by Lalime. And the Lumberjacks turn it around. Off to center ice they come. Aeros in a partial line change. Callender rolled one McElwain across the line. A shot and a left pad save made by Gamble. Puck behind the net and picked up by Freer. And we're going to get our first penalty of the night as Mike Lego, our referee tonight, has an interference minor. And the Aeros will be shorthanded for the first time tonight.
I think Steve Jakes is going to get, I believe it's obstruction there. As the puck was worked out of the zone up to by the blue line. I think Jakes held up, I'm not sure what, I believe it was Ryan Savoy, tried to hold him up a little bit, got a little too much of him, and he went down in a heap, and Mike Lego is going to call the first penalty of the game. The Aeros so far this year on the penalty kill are 19th in the league at 73.3%, so they're struggling a little bit in that department as well. We'll see what they can do against this Cleveland Lumberjacks.
Off the draw, Aeros have it. They'll slam it up the boards to the line, not out. Maurice, second effort, got it there. And the Lumberjacks regroup at center. Left side, Corey Foster shoots it into the Aero zone. Kevin Grant, forechecked on the play by Mike Stevens. Got the puck ahead to center ice, and now a chance for Freer. He's going in on goal, but a good defensive play by the Lumberjacks to tip it free. It was Dominic Pittis. Crowd wanting a penalty, but I think Pittis makes a good play there.
Well, he did hook him with the stick. I thought that should have been a penalty, Adam.
It was Stevens that turned it around for Cleveland, brought it into the Aero zone, and it's banked out to center.
I mean, I know Freer had the puck, but that's still a hooking call. When you slow a player up like that and you hold him all the way, and he was water skiing behind him. He should have called that, I think.
Now the puck is cleared to center ice. Len Perry rinked one over to the left side. Stevens dropped it left side as he was running to by Donnelly. They continue to grapple for the puck behind the net. Lenny Barry trying to center one, tipped away, came out in front, shot, score! Mike Stevens, power play goal, and the Lumberjacks on the board. They lead it 1-0.
Well, Adam, there were bodies flying all over the place there, but I think the Cleveland Lumberjacks just outnumbered the Aeros in front of their own net there, and finally the puck was just thrown aimlessly out in front, and Stevens just got a hold of it, and he fired it right upstairs. I don't think much chance for Troy Gamble as the puck, actually, you know what? I don't even think it was Stevens that got a piece of it. The player that was laying on the ice, and I think that might have been Lauer. I'm not sure. I can't tell by this angle, but I think he swept that puck with his stick somehow, and Gamble just you know, didn't expect something like that. But as a good play in front as they just threw it in front. I think that's one thing the Aeros are going to have to start doing, Adam, is sending guys to the front of the net on their power play and feeding the puck in front. You never know what can happen. That's where you got to outnumber the opposing team. You got to use that man advantage.
In comparison of things, when you look at the Aeros, has it been also the specialty team? I mean, are the Aeros okay at 5-on-5? Because you look at it, they're ranked 19th in penalty kill, and they get burned for a power play goal here, and 18th in the power play.
Well, they are very good 5-on-5. I think that's going to be a conscious effort they're going to have to make.
Puck shot in. Here come the Jacks with a shot. It was stopped in front as Savoia let it go, and Gamble stopped it, and the rebound cleared by Turgeon, and Freer scampers to center. It goes back into the Cleveland zone. Pasiccio couldn't knock it free. Turgeon to Freer, sends it back. Slivchenko the drive, and Lalime stopped it. Turgeon, base of the right circle to Mark Freer behind the net. Freer waiting, trying to get through the check. Now it is Slivchenko waiting. Does Turgeon? The backhander is blocked. Puck in the slot, cleared and out at center ice. Well, the Aeros had some chances, and that is a optimistic point with this new line with Mark Freer on it.
And Mark Freer made a very good play as he could have taken the shot, but he fed it back to Slivchenko, who couldn't quite get enough wood on it.
Oh, wow, and one of the Aeros is just hammered. It was Jakes that was drilled by Savoia, but Jakes got right back up. Puck goes into the Aero zone. Slivchenko turns it around, and off to center he comes. 1-0, the Lumberjacks have it, and they'll turn it around. Across the line they come. McElwain to Beloff, cutting into McElwain, right in the shot, and he lost it for a partial second as Gamble got caught out, and he couldn't get the shot away. Lumberjacks have it. Beloff trying to get it down for Osborne, looking back for Beloff in a scrum near side. It's controlled McElwain. He's pounded by Kevin Grant, and the Jacks turning. Grant ripping up his man with a good check in the corner, and the crowd liking that. Puck to the line, not out. Here's McElwain at the hash marks right side, again belted by Grant, and then he knocked Grant down. Play going on. Here is Mark Freer. He'll turn and shoot it down the ice. This will be icing, and as the Jacks go back, we'll take a timeout. 15:37 to go in the first period. Cleveland leads at 1-0, and we'll be back in a moment. But first, this word by Southwest Airlines. 1-0, the Lumberjacks lead it. 15:37 to play, and Steve Jakes got drilled here by Savoia. And you know, Jody, you did a pretty good article on him last year. This is maybe the turnaround player of any sport.
Well, I'll tell you what, Steve Jakes has been even or better in 10 of 12 games this season.
Yeah, he's really done well in the defensive department, and that's, I think, what the Aeros are looking for them to help out with.
Puck is taken by the Aeros, cleared to the line, not out, held in by Peter Allen. Now down into the behind the cage. Donnelly trying to grind it out. It was picked up by Jock Callender. They continue to kick and dig and grind. Callender, good job along the boards. DiPietro trying to punch it free. They continue to go at it behind the cage. Now Callender, a wraparound shot block. Osborne trying to slice out in front, but Arneal takes it, and he'll shoot it out to center ice. Al Conroy, right wing boards, trying to find DiPietro, but Peter Allen is back for the Jacks in his own zone. Pass to center, and Conroy has got it. Shoots it into the Aero end. 5 minutes gone in the first, and Cleveland leading 1-0. Puck is cleared by Cleveland back to the Houston blue line, and Jakes is there. Jakes for DiPietro, handed over to Arneal, left side, looks in front, he tried to center, was behind Conroy. DiPietro right in with a shot, and he had his pocket picked. Nice defensive play. I believe Rick Hayward got his stick in there at the last second, and the puck goes down the ice. Icing indicated, but it will be waved off because Gamble forced to play. Cleared it near side Mike Stevens, but it went all the way to center ice, and Corey Foster turned it around for Cleveland. Back into the Aero zone it goes, but it is Mark Laniel through the neutral zone, shoots it into the Cleveland end. Lalime out of the cage, he'll slow. Chipped it off the far boards. McCrory trying to knock it down. It came to Mike Stevens, and it's back out at center ice. Turned by Maurice. He's out there with Yo and McCrory. It goes deep into the zone. Lalime slows behind the net, and Corey Foster is there. Rolled it near side for Victor Gervais. Forecheck by McCrory. Puck picked loose, and Maurice tried to get there, but now Len Barry scampering to center ice. Across the Aero line. Barry, right side, pulls up. He centered one a bit too far for Stevens. It's now chipped away, and here come the Aeros to center ice. Scott McCrory, give it to Maurice. He'll hit the Cleveland blue line. Now it's McCrory pulling up, and he lost the handle, and Stevens will turn it around. At center ice, Barry can't find the handle. Valamont will shoot it into the Cleveland zone, and Drake Berehowski will be back. Berehowski, pass to the left side for Stevens. He'll move to center. Stevens across the line, 1-0. Cleveland leads it. And the puck is chipped away by Houston, and here comes Sylvain Turgeon. Give it to Freer. Right side, Slivchenko. Slivy right back for Freer. It hits skates. Now into the corner, and Brad Lauer is there. Lauer gets credit for the goal from Stevens and Barry. Puck near side. It's chipped away. Corey Foster from behind the net. Stefan Bergqvist chased it down, but turned around by Slivchenko. And here's Turgeon trying to get in there from Lauer. Turgeon shaking the check off, looking for Freer, and it was knocked free by the Lumberjacks, but Freer got it back behind the net. Cuts in front, shot, hit the side of the net. I thought maybe it trickled behind Lalime, but no, it went wide, and the Jacks will shoot it down the ice as Kevin Grant goes back to touch, and it is 1-0 in favor of the Cleveland Lumberjacks, so we take time out. It's 1-0 Cleveland. More IHL action after this.
1-0 Lumberjacks as Arneal's working already well with DiPietro, but a good play by McElwain as he gets rid of this chance. And also the other line's been doing well too. The Freer line with Slivchenko and Turgeon.
Yeah, Freer looks very aggressive tonight, and that's something that he really needs for his confidence. I mean, he's been struggling this season with only 1 goal and 4 assists so far in 12 games, and nobody takes it harder than Freer does. I know when his confidence gets going, he gets very hard on himself, and he really needs to get things going tonight.
Lumberjacks have the puck in a 4-3 advantage in shots. It's cleared to center, and Stefan Bergqvist is there. Chipped it to center for McElwain. McElwain looking up ice, and it's turned around. Mark Osborne chipped it far side, and the Aeros are there to turn it around. It goes down into the Cleveland zone. Stefan Bergqvist drifting in behind the net. Poor check by DiPietro. He'll turn one out in front. Came out in front of the Cleveland net, and Berhowski is there to center ice for Jock Callender. Rolled it into the Aero zone. Gamble slows it for Miles O'Connor. Hard pass along the boards for Al Conroy, and away the Aeros come. Conroy to center. He'll hit the line. Right side, DiPietro. Right back for Conroy, but he couldn't get the shot away as Bergqvist was back to tip it loose. Behind the cage, DiPietro looks out in front. Paul DiPietro written out of the play nicely, and the Lumberjacks clear it to center ice. Donnelly shoots it into the Cleveland zone, and it's Drake Berhowski who will play it. Berhowski up and out of his zone, gets it to the center ice, and a pass for McElwain. Shoots it right side Stevens as he hits the Aero line. He's bumped on the play as getting back was McCrory, and Steve Jakes takes over. Jakes slammed it out at center, and back are the Cleveland Lumberjacks. In their own end, Peter Allen pass to the far side. It came to center and down into the Aero zone it goes. 11:24 to play. First period, Cleveland leads at 1-0 on Brad Lauer's power play goal. It's turned around by Houston. McCrory pass near side. Maurice hits the line. It goes deep into the Cleveland zone. The lean slows, and it's Yo in a battle along the boards with Gervais. Aeros trying to hold it in. McCrory, he's tumbled to the ice with Len Barry, and here come the Lumberjacks. Peter Allen, the shot right on. Blocker save made by Gamble, and then Jakes. He's got one of the Jacks all over him. On his case, it was Gervais, and then it's turned around by Mike Maurice. Picked up by Mark Laniel. Laniel trying to get it out of the zone. He's got Len Barry working on him. And McCrory shoots it into the Cleveland zone. Back is Maurice, but Lalime tipped it away right to Mike Stevens, and he'll quickly bank it out at center ice. Kevin Grant. Grant trying to move it into the Cleveland zone, and back to play it as Rick Hayward plays it off the boards for Peter Allen. With 10:30 to go in the first period, 1-0, the Lumberjacks lead it. Turgeon finding Freer, and it's brought in and a shot wide, and it's out at center ice. Kevin Grant booms one into the Cleveland zone, and Rick Hayward is there. Hayward in behind the net as he tries to bust it out of his zone off the boards, and down the ice it goes. It's icing that's indicated as Valamont hustles back to touch, and icing is the call. We're halfway through the first period. The Lumberjacks leading it 1-0 on the Lauer goal. And Mike,
it looks like the Aeros have been victimized by another non-call by the referee here.
Well, I mean, you look back earlier on in the play, and this was on the Cleveland Lumberjacks power plays. You see Mark Freer's just pumping his legs, but he can't get free as he was hooked on the play. And this was on the Cleveland Lumberjack power play. This could have been a shorthanded goal and a jump for Mark Freer, but it turned things around as the Lumberjacks came down and scored right after that. So I think Terry Skowski will have that in the back of his mind, and so will Mark Freer.
That's a good point. Face-off controlled by Cleveland. Corey Foster turns it near side for Savoia. Ryan Savoia couldn't get it out of the end. Far side, Brad Lauer back for the Jacks, trying to feed it down for Bergqvist, or make it actually Dave Bassigio that had it. Puck still in. This line of Freer, Turgeon, Slivchenko have had the scoring chances, the bulk of them, and they forechecked well. They looked good in the first part of this game. Slivchenko cutting into the slot, had it poke check, but he turns it back right side to the line. Kevin Grant quickly slams it down low, and Corey Foster is there. Foster banks it out at center. It will go into the Aero zone, and Kevin Grant goes back to gather in. Quick pass, misses Slivchenko, and the Lumberjacks are back. 9.5 to go first period, 1-0 Cleveland. Kevin Grant right side carries across the line. He's got McElwain draped all over him. Now it is Grant trying to sidestep the check. Berhowski was there, and he will clear it down the ice. Miles O'Connor hustling back. Will get there to play it. O'Connor to the far side. It is Al Conroy to DiPietro at center, missing Arneal with a pass, but Arneal just about slammed it free, and Stefan Bergqvist turns it around. 9:01 to play. 1-0 Jacks. Across the line, McElwain dropped it back Osborne, but it was offsides, and we take timeout. It's Cleveland 1, Houston no score. We'll have more action after this. $8:57 to go in the first period. The Lumberjacks lead at 1-0. Adam Gordon along with Mike Greenlay and Jody Goldstein. Jody, talk to me about season tickets.
Houston Aeros season ticket packages are currently on sale for the 95-96 season. Avoid the draft and list now. Call 627-AERO. Join the Aero Force and get ready for the battle of a lifetime.
Come on, put some feeling into that. Puck comes in as a shot. Gamble the stick save. It's batted out in front and picked up by the Jacks, and that will be a high sticking call. Did not hit the puck to a high stick, and now Conroy getting into it with McElwain as those two kind of look at each other, and Scott Arneal comes in to play diplomat.
And I don't know if Lego will call penalties there. He most likely won't. But speaking of penalties, there's only been one tonight so far, and I tell you what, I think that's benefited the Aeros. The Aeros have looked really good 5-on-5, Adam.
And I agree, and I think, you know, you look at the way Mark Freer's line's played. I think they've been the better Aero line so far.
They seem to be making pretty crisp passes. You've got Slivchenko with his speed on that line, and Mark Freer, such a good stick handler. It should be a good line. And
one thing I noticed too is that they're breaking to the openings. You see the 3-on-2, but you don't just see the three guys floating in the zone. You always have one guy breaking towards the net, and they've almost had a couple glorious chances just by doing that.
Lumberjacks across the blue line into the Aero zone. Jock Callender, but it was tipped away by DiPietro, and back down into the Cleveland zone it goes. Lalime turns it for Berhowski off the boards, and then Malgunas gives McElwain a bump, and they continue to go at it, and sticks get high. And speaking of going high, the right arm of Mike Lego gets up there, and we've got a penalty, and everybody getting in there to push and shove. And a little bit of this could also be stemming from the 8-4 game. Things got a bit ugly in Cleveland, and I'm sure some memories that are burned in the back of a lot of these guys' minds.
Well, Adam, hockey players are sometimes like elephants. They never forget, and especially when it comes to the rough stuff. I think Malgunas, really an intense player there, getting into it. And I think you'll find both players coming off as Mike Lego, or maybe you'll see just the Cleveland Lumberjacks getting a penalty. So the Aeros, a chance to see that power play they've been working on.
Yeah, they are 0 for their last 33 opportunities at home, but the focus this week on practice, on the power play. And
they work the puck around really well. And you know what? I'm not sure whether it's a wholesale change on the power play or whether it's just a revision of the current one. But they worked on a couple new things, and you know, I guess like anything new, if you work on them in practice, you'll get better at them. But you also have to try them in the real contest.
This is something that we saw, Jody, in the playoffs last year against the Phoenix Roadrunners, the struggling in the power play and the penalty kill.
You know, we saw it all season at home, actually. They struggled. They did pretty well at penalty killing at home, but they struggled on their power play at home.
Oh, the penalty killing was outstanding all year. They finished #1 in the IHL. First power play of the night for the Houston Aeros, and they're going to have to start from center ice. Here's Carl Valamont. He's etched himself a fine little spot on this Aero hockey team. Don't forget, he played for the Aeros last year, and this year he didn't even try out with the team. He started in Cincinnati, picked up on a 25-game tryout. He's making himself a home right now. He's +5, one of the better defensemen for the Aeros. That's a big bonus for Houston. Here's Valamont left side. Slammed it down for DiPietro. Trying to get it back to the line. Valamont quickly moves it down, and here's Conroy. Looks in front for Arneal, but instead goes behind the net, and Arnie's got it. Back to a right point, Laniel. Right point. Lets the shot go deflected away by Lauer. Lumberjacks trying to clear it. It slipped to center ice by Dominic Pittison. Back into the Aero zone. 1:15 remaining in the McElwain Minor. 7:40 to go in the first period. A 1-0 hockey game. Cleveland leads it. Laniel playing peekaboo behind the net with Osborne, but the Aeros are back. Laniel turns it near side for Miles O'Connor, and now it is Laniel again. Hey, the Lumberjacks very aggressive forechecking. Here comes Freer to center ice. Lead pass misses Slivchenko. It was stopped by Lalime, and then he fires it all the way back to center ice. Jakes over to O'Connor. He'll shoot it into the zone. No, it hits skates, bounce back at center ice, and here come the Lumberjacks. And the Aeros have to get back, play a little defense. Lumberjacks are there. Berhowski to Bergqvist and back into the Aeros zone. Power play is down to 33 seconds, and crowd getting a little antsy right now. They haven't seen a power play goal but only twice this year. Here comes Freer right side, trying to center it and hit skates. Bergqvist takes Freer into the boards. Now it is Slivchenko trying to dodge a check. Freer behind the net to Slivchenko. Centered the shot. It was blocked as Turgeon trying to get it away, and it's shot all the way back down by Jock Callender. So the power play down to 10 seconds, and here's Miles O'Connor to play it. 1-0 Cleveland. O'Connor to the near side, Jake. Send it into the Cleveland zone. Penalty over. Teams at 5 aside. Puck chipped to the line. It came to neutralize for a waiting Dave McElwain, but Jakes popped it back into the Cleveland zone. Here come the Jacks. Basigio had to go off sticks and skates, and here comes McElwain. A lead pass for Len Barry. That looked offside. He caught it from behind him. A play going on. Now Len Barry doing some work along the boards. Jakes trying to stay stride for stride with Len Barry. Barry jammed it down. It was tipped away, and Scott McCrory is there. Barry trying to draw a penalty on Steve Jakes. Not going to get it. Puck far boards Yo. Trying to advance the puck, but it was turned around by Cleveland. Brought across the line. It hit skates, and the Aeros got it at center ice. Cleveland leading 1-0. They'll shoot the puck into the Aero zone. The Aero power play now 0 for 1. Cleveland's power play 1 of 1. And it is Mike Maurice across the line, trying to slice through the defense. Can't do it. Aeros hold it in gingerly but nicely. Here is McCrory right side. Shoots from a sharp angle. Hit the side of the net. Now it is Maurice again trying to center it. He is bumped by Peter Allen. Yo in the corner. Sends it far side. Vic Gervais chased it down. He will turn and clear it all the way down the ice. Icing indicated. As the Aeros are back, Miles O'Connor touches it, and play is whistled down. 5:13 to go in the first period. 1-0 in favor of Cleveland. Peter Allen, guy, sounds like a name of a famous British comic.
Well, I tell you what, he did go to college at Yale, and that's about as close to that as you get. But he played for the also Team Canada in the past few years. But this guy leads a team in scoring with 1 goal and 17 assists. Really notching a spot for himself on the Cleveland Lumberjacks is his first year here.
He's not only a top rookie, he's also a top defenseman. I mean, this guy, and he takes over kind of where maybe a Dale DeGray last year fit in very well.
Exactly. So you need that kind of leadership on the point.
Off the face-off, Aeros have it. Arneal to the line for Donnelly. The shot high. It was gloved by Lalim, and it bounced to the near side and cleared to center. It goes back into the Aeros zone. And Gord Donnelly has chased it down. Donnelly from behind the cage. He'll start the rush from right to left. Under 5 to play in the first, and a 1-0 Cleveland lead. Right side, DiPietro moving to center ice. DiPietro meandering through traffic across the line. DiPietro speeding in, centered, and Lalim got a right pad on it. Aeros fighting for it. Conroy came out in front. The shot blocked. Arneal came smoking in there and couldn't get a shot away. And here come the Jacks to center. 3-on-2. Belloff across the line. Sends it down. It was blocked by Donnelly and cleared to neutral ice. DiPietro turns it neutral. Left side Arneal went without the puck. And he'll regroup at neutral. And he'll bank it into the Cleveland zone. It is controlled by the Jacks and shot into the Aero zone. Jakes will play it far corner with under 4 minutes and 15 seconds to play. Osborne into the Aero zone, and now it is Laniel right side for Houston. Across the line with Slivchenko. Shoots it into the Cleveland zone, and back is Osborne. This is the line that's done it for Houston tonight so far. They've had the more chances, I think, than anybody. Turgeon takes his man to the boards. It's shot in by Slivchenko, and finally Cleveland will gather it in, and Corey Foster will move it to center ice. Right side, Jock Callender across the Aero line. Callender looks in front. He's centered to Osborne, but turned around by Turgeon. And the Aeros have a break. Turgeon center ice with Freer across the line. Turgeon turning. He pulls up at a left point. Sylvain Turgeon looking down low, was stripped away by Basigio. It came to the line. Laniel, the shot blocked. Turgeon, I think, wanted to just change direction, and he ended up stopping it. Tough break.
He did. It was a good idea, but not enough speed on that puck.
All right, icing the call, and we take time out. 1-0 Cleveland. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the Summit. Lumberjacks still lead 1-0, and although last year they were very successful on some of their opportunities, right now they're missing some as Conroy feeds Arneal, I think, in front, and they just couldn't put it together.
Yeah, they're just really struggling here. I mean, Last few minutes, they had a power play opportunity. They spent pretty much the whole time down in their own zone or about mid-ice. They only got off, I think, one shot during that opportunity.
But the good thing, I think, is they're still getting the opportunities. I think they just have to make good on some of them, Adam.
And I think, if they can get a couple to go in for them, it's going to turn around for them. I mean, they got the troops to do it. There's no doubt about that. And that just bodes well once Mark Lamb gets here. Mark Lamb picked up, if you've not heard, former Edmonton Oiler and former teammate of Mike Greenlay's in Edmonton. As the puck is at center ice and Cleveland turns it around, Gervais puts it into the Aero zone. Len Barry was pushed by Maurice, and back is Kevin Grant. Grant trying to head behind the net. Mike Stevens had head him off at the pass. The Aeros trying to get it out at center. It'll go into the Cleveland zone. Rick Hayward banked it off the boards. It came to center. Gathered in by Maurice, and he'll slide it in for Yo. Turns it for Maurice again. He's got McCrory in front. Maurice right in. Turns. Lost the puck, and then he was tripped up, and a penalty coming up. I'll tell you what, Mike Maurice is about as good a stick handler as you're going to find on this Aero hockey team, and he made the Jacks second guess a little bit. And a penalty coming up.
It was a good play by Maurice to cut to the net, because as McCrory was holding up, he was just waiting for a pass, or he's waiting for Maurice to cut to the net. Well, Maurice did cut to the net, and by doing so, he caused Peter Allen having to, trip up McCrory. A good job, as McCrory's going to the net, but he's tripped up. And I think he had the lane pretty much beat.
Yeah, that pass looked like it was right on target. If McCrory hadn't gone down right there, he would have had it.
Well, yeah, the puck came right out, and McCrory, I guess you call that a good penalty as far as Peter Allen's concerned. He tripped up McCrory. McCrory would have had a glorious opportunity. So once again, another, I guess, missed opportunity, but this time at least the Aeros get a chance to go on the power play.
Face off to the right side of Patrick Lalime. Now 34 straight power play chances at home. The Aeros without a goal. Only 2 power play goals on the year. They came in just breathing above the 10% mark in the IHL totally on the power play. I guess to say the least, a little bit on the life support system. Here comes McElwain as the Aeros fail to hold it in. McElwain shoots high and wide of the net, and it's pushed near side for Conroy. Conroy trying to clear one out at center and picked up by Miles O'Connor, and he'll send one into the Cleveland zone. In there, Conroy was pushed away, and here comes Corey Foster, right side McElwain, cutting in, trying to get a shot away. It was pushed back by Steve Jakes, and away the Aeros come. Jakes right to left pass, too far for Arneal, and back into the Cleveland zone it goes, and it's Bassigio. They'll turn it around near side, but first one there is Paul DiPietro. DiPietro at the hash marks, left side, handed over to Conroy, back in front. He tried to work the give and go. It came behind the net, and DiPietro sets up on the power play, which is down to 1:13. Back to the line, Jakes. Right side, Paul DiPietro slides it down for Arneal, getting set for Jakes. Jakes shoots, it hits skates, sliced out in front. McElwain will turn and shoot it all the way down the ice. The power play half over, a minute remaining, and at 1:45 remaining. First period, Cleveland leads 1-0. Carl Valamont, a pass to the right side for Mark Freer. He'll bring it across the line. Freer trying to move around Stefan Bergqvist. Freer in the behind the net, and Bergqvist pushed him in there along the boards. It is Turgeon. Get it to Freer. Back to the line, Laniel looking for Freer. He will set up the power play, which is down to 35 seconds. Turgeon, base of the right circle, to the line, Laniel shoots, stopped by Lalime, and he will hold on. So Patrick Lalime, through traffic, able to hold on to that. And the power play down to 29 seconds. Jacks lead at 1-0. 1:14 remaining in the first period.
Well, Adam, you look at the power play, and one thing they're not getting are a lot of shots. And I think they, even if something still doesn't work, I think what you have to do is just go back to old-time hockey, and that is get someone on the point who's got a good shot. Put the rest of the guys in front of the net and just start teeing it up and letting it go. I mean, I know it sounds real simple. Terry Skalski's working really hard with his team on the power play. They just got to try and generate some offense, some scoring chances. Right now, they seem to be playing on the perimeter with it a little too much.
Face off left side of Lalime. Barry against Freer, and Len Barry won the draw, but it went right to Turgeon. It was pushed in the corner for Laniel, and Turgeon trying to move it through, but it hit the linesman there, and back down the ice it'll go. Gamble comes out of the net. Neither goaltender has really been tested in this hockey game. The only goal, a power play goal from Brad Lauer. Here comes Laniel, trying to sidestep a check and rip it into the Cleveland zone. Far corner, it's picked up by Turgeon. Power play is over, and the crowd is now at 45 straight chances as Cleveland brings it in. Barry turned it out in front, and Laniel is there. Laniel to center ice, gives it to Slivchenko, hits the line with Freer, and then Slivvy's giving a pump. That was a high stick if I've ever saw one. If that stick was any higher, he'd be in the heavens for that one as the puck came out at center ice.
Well, he did have the stick up high, but he hit him with the butt end part. Actually, not the stick, but his glove with the butt end in his hand. So I know that's why I think Lego let it go.
Slivchenko cuts around the left side, trying to find a man to pass to. Slivy wheeling and dealing. He centered one for Turgeon trying to swipe at it. And then he was knocked down by Bassigio, a bird fist actually. And then with 4 seconds left, they grind it out in the corner. They continue to scrum it out, and that will be the period. And the buzzer will sound ending this first period. A very quick first period. The Aeros really not testing Patrick Lalime, but maybe once. They only had one shot on that last power play, while the Lumberjacks, again, not really testing Troy Gamble. It was a very defensive period, played a lot at center ice, and the Cleveland Lumberjacks leading the Houston Aeros by a score of 1-0. And we will have more action right after this.
How's the hair, okay?
Welcome back to Cleveland. It's back into Houston. The Lumberjacks leading the Houston Aeros by a score of 1-0. And I bring in Jody Goldstein. And well, Jody, a very interesting first period as the Aeros, they couldn't get a goal. But, you know, the one guy that I really thought, the one line that I really liked was the Mark Freer line.
Yeah, Adam, I thought that new line with Mark Freer worked out really well. They made that change today, and Mark seemed pretty aggressive. He was right in there. He was making some nice passes. He took some nice shots, and I think that line could work out really well. It seemed to be the only line that was really producing today.
And the thing is, you know, and as many sports as you've covered, I mean, guys go through slumps. So have you ever seen a guy like this, though, go through a slump like this?
No, I mean, Mark Freer finished last season as a leading scorer. This year, he's got 5 points, just 1 goal, 4 assists, and I know it's been very frustrating for Mark. And you know, his confidence gets a little down, and he starts pressing a little bit. And I know he's trying to relax and not press so hard, but gosh, a good game today would really help a lot.
Absolutely. You know, the funny thing is, Jody, is I'm looking at this year's team and I'm looking at last year's team, and it just seems like the bonding of the team is different between the 2 years.
Well, I think last year's team, being the first year in the league, the guys really came together and they helped each other out, and they struggled early, and I think it brought them closer together. A lot of guys are gone this year, new guys have come in, and it's not quite the same.
Yeah, and the thing is you look at it, there's a blend of NHL guys. We've talked about DiPietro. I mean, you got Mark Lamb coming in, Sylvain Turgeon, and that's a big difference. Last year, I really can't think of a lot of NHL experience. You know, of course, Scott Arniel and Dave Tippett. And, you know, that's a huge loss. We've talked a lot about Dave Tippett. That's huge for the Aeros. That's a tough void to fill.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, he's such a leader on the ice, and you know, having him there as an assistant coach, of course, helps, but it's not the same as having him down there on the ice, helping to organize things and get things going, and just motivate people too.
Are you having fun? I mean, she's making her television debut, folks. I mean, does it get any better than this? You having fun?
Well, if they would win, it'd get a little better, but a little more action in the game would be nice, but yeah, I'm enjoying it.
All right. You can always find Jody Goldstein. Her articles are in the Chronicle. She covers the Oilers, and I don't know, maybe we'll see you around here a little bit this year also.
I hope I can get a chance to come back.
All right, Jody Goldstein joining us here. Mike Greenlay will be with me next. It's 1-0 Cleveland. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Summit, everybody. Adam Gordon along with Mike Greenlay. A 1-0 hockey game. The Cleveland Lumberjacks leading the Houston Aeros. And I got to be honest with you, I'm really surprised at how the Aeros came out of the gate. And I'm not saying they came out poorly, but I just thought maybe there'd be a little more offense tonight.
Well, like I said, when you're off for a few days, it's always tough to get back into the groove. But the Aeros have shown they haven't, like I said, they haven't finished their plays. But some of the build up to the plays, and they just haven't been able to finish the play off at the end. But they've had some pretty good chances just before that.
And the thing is, and I brought this up with Jody Goldstein in the last segment, was that even though he's been struggling offensively, I think there were some encouraging signs from Mark Freer and that whole line in that first period.
Well, certainly. They almost had a few chances there. Freer making some good plays, passing to Slivchenko on one of them, getting in there. He had a breakaway, as we saw earlier, and he was hooked on the play. I think it should have been a penalty, but obviously Mike Lego didn't. But I'm saying he's showing that he wants to get out of that slump. That's a good sign.
Absolutely. You know, the Aeros, the specialty teams with a story in that first period, it was only a power play goal for the Cleveland Lumberjacks, and that is the only goal of the hockey game, Greener.
Well, Barry, a good job behind the net. He dumps it out in front, and it's kind of a lucky goal because the puck goes off of Donnelly, and I don't know how Blauer got it, but he took a big slash at it, and it went right up over Troy Gamble's shoulder. I mean, it was really a real weird goal, and I don't think you can attribute that to a great play, but hey, you throw the puck at the net, sometimes the puck's going to go in. I think that's what the Aeros have to do on their own power play.
And then, of course, some hitting going on as well, and Jakes was introduced to the farm boards.
He was, but you know, I give him a lot of credit for this play, because watch, he'll make the play and he'll take the hit. That's the old, that's a team play. You take a hit to make a play, and Jakes, as he's, as we said earlier, into the 12 games he's played, he's either even or plus in all of those games, so he's done very well.
And don't kid yourself, the Aeros have had some chances as well.
Well, and here's that play we talked about with Mark Freer. Mark Freer should have been all alone here. And you see the stick wrapped around his waist. That's a blatant hooking call, and I'm surprised it wasn't called. But again, the Aeros are plagued with some non-calls in the last few games.
Yeah, they've had their chances, and they even had one more late in that period.
Well, Arneal feeding the puck across really well, and it's just a good chance here, but it's swept away nicely by McElway as DiPietro, and he's dangerous in front of that net. You don't want to let him have a chance, and McElway didn't. So a good play defensively by the Lumberjacks.
I like the way these lines are set up with DiPietro on that first line with Arneal and Conroy, and Mark Freer with Turgeon and Slivchenko. I'm enjoying that, and we'll enjoy a few more periods, including the second period, when we return. 1-0 Cleveland. We'll be right back. It is 1-0 Cleveland leading the Houston Aeros, and we're about ready to start the second period. Let's take a look at tonight's first period stats, brought to you by your local Texas Chrysler Plymouth dealers. Shots at 7 apiece. Aeros 0 for 2 on the power play. Cleveland 1 of 1. 9 face-offs won by Cleveland, 8 for Houston. 2 penalties for 4 minutes for Cleveland, and the Aeros 1 penalty for 2 minutes. You know what? I hope my boss is at the game tonight. Steve Patterson. Anyone know where Steve is? My boss. I know he was at the game. There he is. Steve Patterson, President and General Manager, enjoying this hockey game, and I'm sure he'd like to see a little different outcome after that first period.
Well, there was a lot of promising signs, Adam, after that period. We talked about a lot of chances, but they just didn't finish those chances. And then you just look at the Cleveland Lumberjack goal. It was kind of I guess some people would call it just a fluke goal. A good play by Barry to dump it out in front of the net, but it hit Donnelly in the back, bounces, and then somehow Lauer gets a stick on it and puts it upstairs as he's falling. Kind of a Bobby Orr type of goal, but nevertheless, it's 1-0 Lumberjacks. I think the Aeros are showing some good signs.
Steve Patterson's talking to Chuck Watson, who's now the majority owner. If you had not followed up, he and Glenn Hart had switched positions. Glenn Hart, who was the majority owner, now having Chuck in there. That's a good move for the Houston Aeros.
Yeah, I think it is. It really doesn't change much as far as on the ice. It's not changing any of the personnel, but it just changes things up financially for the Aeros.
Yeah, and of course the Aeros becoming the owners of the Summit. That's a huge pickup too, and Chuck Watson and Steve Patterson behind that one as well. But right now the Aeros behind 1-0, and we're underway with the second period. It's the puck in the near corner as Gervais came smoking in there to try and take his man into the boards. They continue to grind it out. Puck picked up by Len Barry, and here come the Jacks from right to left. Out at center ice, Peter Allen shoots it into the Aeros zone. Back is Yo, but it was swept away by Donnelly, and it went into the Cleveland bench, and play halted. We played 29 seconds in the second period, and Terry Ruskowski's troops down by a score of 1-0.
Good job right off the bat there, Adam, as the Aeros have their, I guess I don't know if you want to term any line as a checking line, but if you're going to term any of them as that, it would be this line. You have McCrory out there, you have Yo, and you also have Maurice. And Maurice had a great chance early in the period, but Yo doing a good job back checking on Len Barry on that last play. And Len Barry looked at Mike Lego, and he said, "Wait, what's going on there?" He kind of hooked me, but I guess tit for tat here.
Face off, right side of Gamble. And it'll be Len Barry against Scott McCrory. As the two ready to joust. This is where you'd love to see a Mark Lamb maybe against a Len Barry. And we will have a chance to see that as he will be with the hockey club beginning tomorrow and play Saturday against Michigan. Len Barry centers a puck through the crease, and it came over to the near side from Mike Stevens. Stevens into the slot, a shot kicked away by O'Connor, and here is Yo, left side for Maurice. Across the line he will come. Maurice turns and he centered it, and it was tipped away, and into the near corner it came. Reversed by McCrory for Houston, trying to find Yo, and the Lumberjacks are there. Yo in a battle with Rick Cable. To the puck, and the Aeros trying to come up with it, and they've got it. McCrory turning at top of the slot, shut off a check. He was tripped up though by Victor Gervais, and the Aeros are going to go right back on the power play. Delayed call, and gives Maurice a bit of a bump there, and we will get a penalty on Victor Gervais for tripping, and the Aeros will be back on the power play for the third time tonight.
As you mentioned, Adam, the third time tonight the Aeros have had the power play. You know, and I guess you try and pull the positive out of everything, and hopefully the Aeros can use that power play to score, but if not, to get the momentum as McCrory tries to get around the defense. Or sorry, it wasn't the defenseman, it was Gervais. He tried to get around him, and Gervais had nothing to do except trip him because McCrory had a step on him, and a good call by Mike Lego.
So a face-off to the right side of Patrick Lalime, and it'll be Paul DiPietro, Scott Arniel, and Al Conroy, defensive unit of Laniel and Valamont. And somebody starts a bit early, and I think McElwain might be moved out of the circle. You know, well, they are going to move him out. Mark Osborne against Paul DiPietro now for the third power play of the night for Houston. Conroy to Valamont. Slides it down near side for Arniel. He's bumped along the boards, and away McElwain will skate to center ice. It is Osborne through the neutral zone. Dropped it back. McElwain cutting in the shot, and a stick save made by Gamble. And the Aeros are off the center ice the other way. Left side, Arniel across the line, kicked away, and cleared by Corey Foster. And that puck trying to get its way back into the Aeros zone, and it is Mark Laniel that is there. Power play down to a minute and a half. Laniel from left to right. Laniel carries the puck up ice and hits center ice. Laniel looking for the pass, instead booms one into the Cleveland zone. The lead trying to score. Left side, Conroy tipped away by Foster to the line, not out. And a pass by Valamont outside of the line, and Laniel regroups at center. It is Arniel. Regroups at his own line. Arniel, he'll move to the far side. Pass for Valamont. Shoots it into the Cleveland zone. And here's Paul DiPietro, right side. Reversed it back down low. Basilio is in there. Conroy dug it out, though. Al Conroy, base of the right circle for Houston. 52 on the power play. Conroy waiting. Looks down low. His pass came to the left side. Valamont line shoots. Lalime stopped it. No, he never got to Lalime. Foster was in front. Now the shot turned by Laniel, and it bounced just wide. Here's Arniel again. Base of the right circle for Conroy at the hash marks. Getting set. Conroy to the line for Laniel. It was chipped away, McElwain, but not out. Again, Conroy. Right side, Arniel bumped along the boards by Basilio. It was snapped away, and the Lumberjacks turn it, clear it down the ice. So the Aeros were able to set up, but still cannot get a shot on goal, and they have to make a line change as they start back in their own end.
You know, Adam, and a lot of teams know the stats that we keep spilling out to the fans. These stats tell them that they can force the Aeros.
It is Freer, drops Turgeon, the shot. It was blocked. It came out in front, but Lalime got there. Oh, the Aero crowd thought maybe it went in, but it wasn't even close, and the puck is cleared all the way down the ice, and that will do it for the power play. Aeros now 0 for 3 and 0 for their last 35 at home. Here come the Lumberjacks. Pass left side, Lauer shoots, scores! Brad Lauer! And it is 2-0, the Lumberjacks lead it.
Well, I know, Adam, that Troy Gamble would like to have that one back.
Boy, a pass on the short side, or a shot on the short side by Lauer, and the Aeros are down 2-0, and Lauer gets his second goal of the game.
Well, just a good slap shot. I think Gamble thought he was going to go far side, glove side, because Gamble felt he had the whole side covered there, but Lauer goes short side on him and kind of fools him on it, gets it right inside the post. A good low hard shot, and we have a 2-0 score.
So Brad Lauer gets his 5th of the year, and you know, as spectacular as Gamble has been this year, that's one he might want back.
Oh, certainly. I mean, you've got a guy like Brad Lauer. He scored 46 goals, 70 assists for 110 points in 322 career games with teams like the Islanders, Chicago, and Ottawa. So he's an NHL experienced veteran, and it was a very good shot by Lauer, nevertheless.
Puck goes down into the Cleveland zone. Peter Allen back to play it. Allen forechecked by McCrory. Turned the puck around, though, as the Aeros have it back. McCrory trying to move it out in front. McCrory watched by Hayward. McCrory to the line for O'Connor. His shot is blocked, and Dominic Pittis is there. Dominic Pittis for Cleveland. Turns left side in the second-year pro to center across the Aero line. Pittis pulls up in the right circle, looks in front. It was knocked away by Maurice, and the Aeros come to center ice. Maurice down neutral and shoots it into the Cleveland zone. Out of the net, it is Lalime trying to get it out of there. Cannot do it, and Maurice behind the net. He tried to center and pushed away by the Cleveland defense. Puck near side. Gord Donnelly pinching right side, trying to find Scott McCrory. They continue to grind it out along the boards, and finally to the line. Donnelly, the shot ricocheted and kicked by Pittis, and Dominic Pittis moves to center ice. Pittis hits the line with Lauer. Brad Lauer, right side, getting set, trying to send it down. It came behind the net, and this is Gord Donnelly. 2-0 Cleveland, 4.5 gone in the second period. Out of the net, Gamble leaves for Miles O'Connor, shoots it up the boards, and here comes Mike Maurice to center. Rink wide pass, just missing Yo, and the Lumberjacks turn it around. Cleveland in their own end, and Corey Foster sends one right side for Bergqvist. It goes into the Aeros zone. O'Connor chases it down. It will be icing, and we take a timeout. 2-0 Cleveland, and we'll be back right after this. But first, a word by Southwest Airlines.
Lumberjacks 2-0, and you have a shot of Philip DeRouville, the #1 guy normally for the Cleveland Lumberjacks, second in the IHL in saves, 5th in minutes played, and he's an up-and-comer for the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Yeah, I think Aeros fans might remember him from last year when he was here. He's the one who gave up the game-winning goal in a shootout to Graham Townsend, the only win that the Aeros have over the Lumberjacks.
Where do you pick these things up? I mean, do you just sit there and read these things or what?
No, she's clairvoyant.
Long memory, long memory.
Puck picked up by Len Barry. I didn't even remember that, and I saw the game. Len Barry turns one out at center for Bergqvist. It's knocked ahead, and now Gervais trying to move one in front. The drive stopped by Gamble. Wow, big drive by Mike Stevens, and Gamble makes the save. Near side, DiPietro chipped it out at center, and Gervais turns it around. Cleveland has come out here and scored another goal, and they lead it 2-0. Puck along the boards as Grant takes a bump from Len Barry and then gives Barry a retaliation, and that'll be a penalty as the shot comes down and Gamble makes the save, and play is whistled down with 14:25 to go in the second. 2-0 Cleveland, but the Jacks about to go on their second power play of the night.
Well, Kevin Grant is no stranger to penalties. He only needs 5 penalty minutes to get his 1,000th of his pro career. And in this case, Grant just gets a little angry, I think, and let his discipline get away from him as he comes over the top and grabs Barry and shoves him to the ice. Maybe a little bit of help by Barry in the diving department, but nevertheless, it's going to be a power play for the Cleveland Lumberjacks. A goal here would put them up 3-0, and that's nothing that the Aeros want, especially in this situation.
Face off right side of Troy Gamble. Freer with Maurice, defensively Jakes and Laniel. The Lumberjacks come out with Len Barry, Jock Callender, Brad Lauer, Dominic Pittis at the right point, Corey Foster at the left point. One of the 2 goals, the power play goal, they're 1-on-1 on the man advantage. Puck near side off the draw, Barry slides it down to Callender. Barry trying to move it along the boards. Freer just about dug that out. It came to the line. Foster held it in. Foster, long shot, stuck aside by Gamble, and the puck controlled by Jakes, and he'll shoot it all the way down the ice.
Now Foster took a wrist shot there, but will you watch this guy when he takes a slap shot? There's smoke following the puck. These guys got a heck of a slap shot.
Puck controlled by Cleveland, and here comes Corey Foster. Across the line, looking to maybe pull the trigger. Callender right side. Callender basing the right circle, trying to find Barry. Laniel came in there to throw his body along the boards, and it finally came back out at center ice. 1:22 remaining in the Grant Minor. 2-0 Cleveland, 13:45 to play in the second period. In the Cleveland zone, Jacks have got it. They'll turn it near side and move it to center ice. Len Barry, former draft pick of the Edmonton Oilers, but never even saw any duty with Edmonton. He was later traded. His rights were traded to the Philadelphia Flyers. Now to Pittsburgh as the Aeros came shorthanded, and a lead pass for Freer hit him in the skates. He had a great chance shorthanded, but couldn't turn it around. Now Lauer, who's already got 2 goals, cutting in. Lauer behind the net, bumped by Laniel, fell off, turning over the boards, gives it right side, centered. The shot by Allen ricocheted wide as it hit one of the skates, either Callender or Jakes. Callender right side down low for Bella. Bumped by Jakes behind the net. Lauer trying to move it free. It was poked by Laniel, and heads up, it's a souvenir with 12:58 to play in the second. 2-0 Cleveland.
Good job by Cleveland cycling down low in the zone there, and Jock Callender fed Peter Allen, but Peter Allen hit them in the skates, couldn't get the puck through there. But you see a lot of puck pursuit by Cleveland, and they've kept the puck in that zone.
Well, I've got a minute. I want to let everybody know, all Aero fans, that the Aeros are about to be on the internet, and as I am on email, and I'd like fans that if they have any questions, suggestions for either Mike Greenley or myself, you can find me at the internet. It's at agordon@aeros.com, and we'll talk about this more. A lot of people have been asking how they can write us, and you can do it right there on email. We'll talk again. Here's DiPietro, shorthanded shot, put it far side, too far. Now O'Connor trying to move it along, and the Lumberjacks will play it. Cleveland's Peter Allen, forecheck by Conroy. And Beloff will turn it around. Here come the Jacks from right to left. Bassigio, right side for Stevens across the line. He's it for Beloff, picked away, and it's back down the ice, and Peter Allen's got it at his own blue line. Power plays over, teams at 5 aside. The Aeros have killed it. McAway turning it neutral. We've got a whistle, and play halted on the 2-line pass, and we take timeout. Cleveland 2, Aeros nothing. We'll be right back. 2-0 Cleveland leading it. Adam Gordon with Mike Greenley, Jody Goldstein. One thing that hasn't changed this year has been the crowds.
Yeah, the crowds have been pretty good. Tonight's a little bit disappointing, but I think that a lot of that had to do with the weather outside.
Yeah, weather has a lot to do with it, and I know they're talking big crowds this weekend as the Michigan K-Wings come in for a couple. And you're going to have to get used to back-to-back games like you did with Vegas because of the travel and some of the teams. It's a lot easier for them just to stay in town and play a couple, and that's what Michigan will do. They'll play Saturday and Sunday. In fact, Sunday's game is a 4 o'clock start. A little matinee for you.
That just makes a lot more sense. The travel that these guys have is just ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. Falamon gives to McCrory behind the net. McCrory centered it, but he hit the side of the net. Picked up by Yo. Teams at 5 aside as Yo is shot. And Royal Aline, I think, lost sight of it for a split second, but Len Berry able to move it away. Not out of his home, though. And Peter Allen is there. Allen for Cleveland. Hammers it along the boards for Gervais. Tipped it to the Aero line, or tipped it to his own line. Got it to the line of note. No. Held in by Berry. And now to center ice. Gervais trying to move it in. Nice play for Berry. He's in alone. Oh, great save by Gamble. Rebound, score. It was Ryan Savoia. After Len Berry came speeding in there, nobody could pick up a loose puck or a loose Ryan Savoia, and it's now 3-0 Cleveland.
Well, what a play by Savoia, but first of all, you had Berry breaking in the breakaway. Gamble can't believe it. As he made the save, the puck was just thrown out in front, and it was chipped in. Here you have Berry making a move. Can't get it by Gamble. Watch Gamble turn around to cover the puck once it's thrown out front. Again off a defenseman of the Aeros, and all it's done is chipped into the net. Gamble can't believe it. That's a second goal tonight that has been kind of fluky like that. The puck is just thrown out in front aimlessly by Berry the second time, and then the puck's just chipped in by Savoy. Savoy, an opportunist there as he tips it out of the air, but really kind of a fluky goal, and that shows what happens when you put the puck in the front of the net and you take the puck to the net.
Laniel turns it around, and here comes Sylvain Turgeon. He'll rip it into the Cleveland zone. Lalime will cover up, and he'll hold on. And 11:20 to go in the second period. And the Jacks now lead it 3-0.
And before the goal, there was some good hard work by guys like Yo and Maurice on that line. They were working really hard. You know, sometimes they had a couple really good chances. Sometimes just plain good old-fashioned hard work will get you the puck. But a slight breakdown, and Berry broke in for the breakaway, and Savoy ended up getting the goal.
Controlled by Cleveland. Bassigio rolls it along the board. Fell off, chipped to Collender, and it's out at center ice. Jakes has to hustle back. He's pursued by McAway, and he'll reverse it over to Mark Laniel. Down to 11:05 to play in the second period, and Oleg Turgeon nearly turned it over in his own end. Sylvain Turgeon getting into it with Oleg Beloff. They kind of look at each other a little bit. Now the puck toward near side. Beloff dug it out, base of the left circle. Beloff trying to get through the hook of Turgeon. Beloff roughed up pretty good along the boards, and then Turgeon trying to pick it free. Finally, he did. And there's what you're talking about, Greener. Good hard work by Sylvain Turgeon. Across the line the other way, Slivchenko trying to make his move around Bassigio. Slivy busting down the right side, came up on the far boards for Freer behind the net. He's worked on by Foster. They continue to grind it out, and then Slivchenko comes in there. Finally, it is Bassigio who will bring it up ice. Sends a pass to center. McAway to Collender across the line. And the puck down low. We're going to get a penalty coming up. I think we're going to get a penalty hooking the call with 10:17 to go in the second period. Cleveland leading 3-0, and I think the Aeros are going to get another penalty.
I think you're right, Adam. It's going to be against Gord Donnelly for hooking, and it just Jock Collender was breaking into the zone, and you know you talk about consistency, but you know, I don't know if that was as big of a hook as we thought. Good job by, I guess Donnelly did hold him up a little more than they did give Slivchenko the puck eventually, so maybe it was a better call than we thought, but Donnelly, they're giving a good example of the perfect obstruction hooking, And in this situation, he held up Jock Hollander, who's a goal scorer. You don't want to let a guy like that get in alone, but another call and another power play for the Cleveland Lumberjacks.
Face off right side of Gamble, Len Berry, Mike Stevens, and Brad Lauer with Dominic Pittis and Peter Allen. Off the draw, the Aeros have got it. Grant trying to move it out of the zone for Arneal. And here come the Aeros short-handed. Grant, who had a short-handed goal against Vegas, have a 2-on-1 the other way. Conroy left side, shoots! Oh, and I think Lalim got a piece of it as it just went wide of the net. And we're going to get a whistle and now another penalty, but I think this one will be coming to the Lumberjacks.
Well, a good job there on the penalty kills. Conroy uses Miles O'Connor, who was streaking in the zone, as kind of a I guess a decoy, if you want to call him. He was quacking all the way in, but but Conroy he couldn't find the mark. It was a good play by Conroy to take the shot because he had it. He had the shot and he took it, but Lalim didn't even move. It just hit the side of his pad and it went wide. I don't know if you see Miles O'Connor breaking in, but he was kind of wide open. But a good job and you know, Miles O'Connor, he might have been a good guy to give the puck to. He has a three-game assist streak, I guess you call it, a point-scoring streak. He has 3 assists in his last 3 games. But Pittis still ends up getting a penalty on the play. And let's see what the Aeros can do now. I think it's 0 for 35 the count. I don't like to keep saying that, but just that's what it's at.
Puck controlled by Houston. Left side will go 4-on-4 for a minute 40. Arneal left side cutting in, steers it down for Conroy. Watched by Bassigio, and Gervais will romp the center ice for the Jacks. Gervais trying to slice off a Valamont check, and it goes down into the Aero zone. O'Connor to the far boards for Arneal, and away he will come for Al Conroy. He's got a few guys to beat though. Conroy left side pulls up a shot and it was wide of the net. In near side, Conroy trying to toss it back to the line. It came to O'Connor, shot dripped away, and back out at center come the Jacks. Gervais had it poked away by Carl Valamont. That's a nice play by Valamont. Now Bassigio around the boards, and it is Miles O'Connor who will take over. O'Connor for Valamont. He will hoist it high in the air. It will bounce into the Cleveland zone, and we will get an icing call on the Aeros with 9:07 to play, second period. 3-0 Jacks. Paul DiPietro.
You know, Adam, DiPietro has done very well jumping up on that line with Conroy and Arneal.
The Aeros have been down by 3 goals 3 times this season. That's about it. The October 15th game at Cincy, and then of course against Cleveland, the 8-4 game, and the Fort Wayne game. Off the draw, the Aeros have got it. Maurice left side shoots it into the Cleveland zone. Lalima's got it slowed, and now it is controlled by the Jacks from right to left. At center ice, Corey Foster shoots it into the Aero zone. Out of the net, Troy Gamble fired it fireboard. Stevens knocked it down, and here is Mark Laniel. He'll set up behind the cage with 4-on-4 for another 28 seconds, and then the Aeros on the power play for about 16 seconds. Laniel left side, DiPietro moves it across the line with Maurice. DiPietro trying to speed in on goal. DiPietro behind the net. Here's Paul DiPietro looking for someone to pass to, and all he can do is turn it right over to Mike Stevens, and he'll come in on goal. Stevens across the line, the shot, jumped up on Laniel. I think flipped him right in the old melon. Near side is Jake's trying to dig it out. Aeros are going to be on the power play right now for 16 seconds. Out of the box, it's Donnelly. Here comes Houston left to right. It is Maurice across the line with Jakes. Tipped away, though, by Berkowski. And it'll come to the near side. Slivchenko with 4 on the power play. Trying to move it along the boards. He was viciously dumped, and Maurice trying to get it behind the cage. He had Freer in front, couldn't get it to him. Now Mark Freer, base of left circle. His teams are 5 aside. Freer had it tipped away, and Jock Callender takes over. Callender to center ice. A pass for McElwain. Rolled it into the Aero zone. Out of the net, Gamble. He'll send it near side. And back are the Aeros. Mark Freer. Fireboards for Maurice. And he'll shoot it to neutral ice. Peter Allen is there for Cleveland with 7.5 to go in the second period. 3-0 hockey game. Beloff across the line with McElwain. It goes into the zone. Gamble slowed behind the net. And Gamble will turn it over to the far forwards. Beloff held it in though, and Freer came in to try and push it away. Puck sliced up over the glass and out of play. Cleveland leading it 3-0 here at the Summit. Mike, Jody, and I will be right back. Terry Ruskowski, the head coach of the Aeros, and his team. The Aeros down 3-0 with 7:23 to go, and Terry trying to find something to get his team going, and you can see him pointing his next line. He's going to bring out Malgunas with McCrory and Yo next shift.
Well, it's good to throw those kind of guys out there. They really sort of churn things up out there, and they force really well.
Right now they need something positive to happen, because it really hasn't tonight, as they're down 3-0. Freer across the line, tipped away Calendar, and it's right back out to neutral ice. Turned around by the Aeros and shot into the Cleveland zone. Bassigio to center, rolled it into Aero territory, and O'Connor goes back. Miles O'Connor from left to right with under 7 minutes to go. Second period, 3-0 Cleveland. Sylvain Turgeon trying to get it into the Cleveland zone, busting down is Slivchenko. He turns in front, the shot hit Moline, but at the side of the net. And Beloff trying to clear it, at his pocket picked by Freer, and it's slipped away by the Lumberjacks. McElwain to the line, not out. Turgeon held it with a long shot. The almost tripped into its own net there, though. And the Jacks are there. Jacques Calendar trying to move it through Freer and Turgeon. It came back down low, and here's Corey Foster. Foster off the boards. It came to center ice, and it goes into the Aero zone. McElwain, after Donnelly had misplayed it, but Donnelly got back to stall the rush. Donnelly had misplayed a puck, and McElwain got behind him, and then Donnelly had hustled back and forced it off. And now a shot stopped by Gamble. McElwain centers the shot. Score! Oleg Beloff. And the Lumberjacks now lead it 4-0.
Too much time in front for the Lumberjacks, Adam, as Jacques Calendar cuts to the front of the net, jams the net, and by jamming the net, he caused commotion in front as the puck was loose, and eventually the puck gets fed across to Beloff, and Beloff has a wide open net as Gamble had made a couple of saves. Here you have Calendar, and he goes to the net, and this is what creates things. You notice two of the defensemen go to the player, and then all it is left is a pass across to Beloff, and he finds the open side. I mean, that's a good play by Calendar right there, as both Slivchenko and Donnelly go to him, and then there's just not enough guys to pick up the remaining guys standing around.
Wow, Gamble got over there and got a piece of it, but still went into the net.
He did get over, but you know, you have give a guy that many chances, and he's going to eventually put it away.
Puck goes down into the Cleveland end, and Rick Hayward turns it far side. And Savoia, who's got a goal in this game, played it far north. Yo sizes him up, takes him into the boards with a big hit. A shot by Valamont, sizzles wide of the net, and then goes up and out of play. 5:50 to go in the second period. Cleveland leading 4-0. And it's time for our watch and win contest, brought to you by your local Chrysler, Plymouth, Dodge, Jeep, and Eagle dealers. Call right now at 777-5772 and identify this week's Aeros player. We'll give it to you at the end of the second intermission. I already know who it is, but, you know, hey, we want to see if you've stopped by your local Chrysler Plymouth dealer.
And that was Beloff's going back to the goal. That was Beloff's fourth goal of the year, giving him 9 points now on the season.
Puck goes down along the boards. It's centered to Malgunas, turns with a shot. Lalim stopped it, and then he held on to it. So the Aeros, you know, I got to tell you, to be quite honest, that might have been their only really legitimate scoring opportunity in this hockey game.
Well, like you said, like we talked about earlier, they keep getting almost getting chances. They break into the zone on partial breaks, but they just can't finish it off with a good scoring chance. But here is a good play by Malgunas. He just turns and he fires it. Sometimes you can catch goalies off guard. This time he didn't catch Lalim off guard, but still a good opportunity, as you said.
Right between the circles. And the Aeros trying to find something positive, Jody.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing Cleveland's been doing on both of the last 2 goals, they had somebody right there to get the rebound and push it back in. And it seems like every shot the Aeros have taken have been from a little farther out, and there's been nobody there for the rebound.
It's called driving to the net, I think.
Certainly something that Ruskowski preached over and over again last year, and I'm sure he's been talking about it a lot this year.
Puck along the far boards, and it's chipped to the line, not out. And if you're wondering who that voice might be, it is Jody Goldstein from the Chronicle joining us tonight. Now we're going to get a penalty on Kevin Malgunas, or Malgunas is going to draw a penalty on Rick Hayward. And the Aeros are going to go on the power play with a chance to try and dent the scoreboard. They're down 4-0 with 5:19 to go.
Well, Hayward leads the team with 61 penalty minutes this year. Last year he led the team with 269 penalty minutes. So he should, I guess he should have a nameplate there when he walks to the penalty box. People go, Rick, like they know him.
Yeah, it's like we had those season tickets. It's like, Rick, your seat's right over here.
Yeah, but a little bit of holding there, or hooking. I'm not sure what Lego called it, but it was still ended up a penalty, as Hayward will sit down for 2 minutes and give the Aeros hopefully a chance to turn this game around, as they trail 4-0 with 5 minutes left in the second period.
Puck controlled by Cleveland and shot all the way down the ice. Power play opportunity number 4 for the Houston Aeros. Laniel near side, and he'll move it from left to right. Laniel, right wing boards for DiPietro, scampers to center ice. DiPietro shuffling across the line, rolled it left side for Conroy, pulls up the hash mark, left wing. Conroy waiting, his pass tipped away and right back down the ice, and that has been the story of the power play all season long. The Aeros just can't seem to get that one pass that really sets up a good scoring opportunity on the power play. Now it is Mike Maurice, and he nearly turned it over, handed it right to Jacques Callender, and he got it back. Behind the net, it is Maurice, and away he will come. Maurice, a pass for DiPietro, and his pass tipped away by Callender, and now Lauer, ooh, a high stick coming up to DiPietro is inadvertent, but it'll cost his team 2 minutes.
And I hope Lauer isn't cut on that one, because then it'd be obviously an automatic 4 minutes, maybe 5, but I don't think so, as
no.
DiPietro goes to the box, and this will nullify any power play that the Aeros had.
Well, so DiPietro in, and we'll go 4-on-4 for 1:08 and then 52 seconds. That's what Cleveland will have on the power play. They lead it 4-0.
And Cleveland not doing anything amazing tonight. They just the goals have been, I guess, just capitalizing on the opportunities. And you know what? They weren't opportunities until they made a little play towards the net. I mean, all the goals were chipped out in front or passed out in front, and they just turned out to be goals.
You said that the way the Aeros need to kind of get back into things is just go back to simple straight ahead hockey. Well, take a book right out of Cleveland, and I mean, they're sending guys to the net. They're wreaking havoc. I mean, they're making good plays. It's just basic hockey, and
they're just outnumbering the Aeros in front of the net. It's classic.
They're outscoring them in front of the net too, 4-0. It's Drake Berehowski. A pass came to center ice, and Len Barry off to the races, charging down the right side across the line with Gervais. Looks in front. He centered it to Gervais. Shot blocked, but partially fanned on it, and Freer will turn it around. Freer in behind the net for the Houston Aeros. But Carl Valamon booms it near side for Freer, trying to get it out of the zone, cannot. And now it's Len Barry near side. Barry looks in front of the net. He will center it, and now it's Peter Allen trying to get a backhander, but Turgeon came back and slipped it away, and then Turgeon takes it away, and the Aeros are off to center ice. Turgeon for Freer across the line. Freer cutting in, he will drop it for Miles O'Connor. O'Connor right side, and then belted by Gervais. They continue to go at it skate for skate in the corner, and then Freer comes in, and he's going to get nailed for checking from behind as he drills Berehowski from behind, and that'll cost the Aeros 2 men as Callender, delayed penalty, cuts in. Has the extra attacker, a centering pass too far for Allen. Freer is there, and we are going to get a checking from behind minor, or they'll call it charging, to Mark Freer.
Well, Mark Freer going in a little aggressively there, and the problem is he took Berehowski a little too up high on the shoulders, and coming in from behind. I don't think Berehowski knew someone was coming, and he ended up flat on his face, and Mike Lego right there to make the call.
So with 48 seconds remaining in the DiPietro minor and a fresh 2 minutes to Mark Freer, 5-on-3 for Cleveland, 48 seconds, and then they'll get 1:12 to work on a 5-on-4, and it just continues to go downhill.
Yeah, it really does. You like to see him be more aggressive. Of course, you don't want to see penalties, but at least it's nice to see him be a little more aggressive out there, because they looked a little lackadaisical at times.
You're right. That's a good penalty. Looking for something aggressive.
Try and draw anything positive out of anything you can, I suppose, Adam.
Well, you never want to see 5-on-3, of course.
No. Corey Foster left side to Callender. He lost the handle, and Laniel will just skate it and move to center ice. Laniel has 2 guys to beat, and then he'll just gently roll it in, and then he'll hustle back. But a nice play by Laniel. He ticked off about 10 seconds there.
Well, you know, a shorthanded goal would be nice. So far this season, the only shorthanded goals have been scored by defensemen. For the Aeros, that is.
Grant and Pack.
And Laniel.
And Laniel, excuse me, yeah. Don't need to shortchange you there, Lanny. Puck controlled by Cleveland on the 2-man advantage for another 19 seconds. Puck down, the one-time shot by Barry. Wow, score. Oh, that was as easy as it came. He came down the left side. He had the entire near side of the net. It is now 5-0 Cleveland, a power play goal, and they stay on the power play for 1:28.
Well, you can see the kind of respect that Corey Foster got on that play as he wound up. And as he wound up, everyone watched the puck, and look at the open side here. Nobody sees Barry, and Barry makes good on that, and that's his 3rd point of the game for Len Barry. 2 assists before that, and a good play by Foster, keeping his head up and seeing Barry on the low side. Troy Gamble, no chance on that one. That's about as hard as they come on the one-timers, and Barry makes good on the open net on that shot.
Tremendous hockey player Len Barry is. He had a a good year last year in Pittsburgh. It was short-lived mainly because of the strike, but he was up and down. Started, of course, the year because of the strike in Cleveland as the puck goes out of play with 2:34 left.
And you know, Barry in his last 4 games has a goal and 5 assists. Now in last 5 games, he's got 2 goals and I think 7 assists. So he's really doing well as far as the point department.
Yeah, he's got a goal tonight and 2 assists. Just another night at the office for Len Barry. Face off to the left side of Troy Gamble. 5-0 Cleveland. Jacks still on the power play. And it is Victor Gervais, right side, watched by Conroy. Get it back to the line, Bassigio. And the Aeros turn it around. Donnelly, right side for Maurice. And he'll move it across the line. Maurice trying to slide it through the check. Conroy slipped it down, but the Lumberjacks are back, and it's Bassigio. At 2:10 left in the second, 56 seconds remaining on the power play. Len Barry across the line. Barry pulls up at a left point and looks for the pass in front. It came back to the line for Peter Allen. Puck on edge, his shot. Gamble stopped it, and the puck goes out of play. And we've got 1:56 to go in the second period. 5-0 Cleveland.
Well, I'm sure the Aeros will be glad to get out of this period and try and regroup and formulate some kind of offensive tactic here to try and get back in this game. I mean, I know you always want to be the opportunist and you always want to be the positive guy. Well, I mean, even a couple goals might spark something. Even a goal near the end of this period might get them going for the 3rd period.
Face off left of Troy Gamble. Jock Hollander to the left side. He'll take the draw. He's out there with Beloff and McElwain, Berhowski, and Foster defensively. Boy, I'll tell you, this hockey team, just the Aeros, just stymies me. Just when you think they put it together, they come out and they allow 4 goals in this period, 5 total, and can't manage to get a goal. There's a penalty coming up, and we'll sort it out when we take this time out. 1:47 to go in the second, 5-0 Cleveland. We'll be right back. Aeros on the power play. They turn it over at center ice, but get it right back, and now it is Yo to Scott McCrory across the line. McCrory trying to cut in for Yo. The shot is blocked, and it's turned around. Aeros, I should say, will be on the power play here in 3 seconds. They're 4-on-4. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. The puck came down. Valimont tipped it away from McElwain. Now the Aeros are on the power play. Away, Valimont will come. Get it out the center ice for Yo. Reversed it over to McCrory across the line, swept by Berhowski. And chipped away. They continue to grind it out and get it out at center ice. McElwain gives it to Jock Hollander, and he rolled it into the Aero end.
You know, Adam, we talked about teams not being afraid to take penalties against an unproductive power play, and that's the situation you see right now in this game so far.
And with every team in the IHL at this point, I mean, you saw it with Vegas last weekend, and you've seen it with just about every team. They know the Aero power play is just totally ineffective right now, and they can go and they can take chances, they can take penalties, and that's a big advantage for a team coming in, knowing that they can get away with that. Puck is chipped back to the line. Here is Jakes at a right point, sends it left side. Laniel shoots, scores! And the drought is over. A power play goal for Mark Laniel, and the Aeros are on the board. 5-1 Cleveland.
Well, Adam, they stopped the bleeding, and it's a good thing to see because I'm tired of talking about it. And a good thing to see Laniel get his goal, as he's been solid so far this year, and it was good to see him do what we like to see, and that is take a shot from a point with people in front. Laniel doesn't take a big shot, but he places it well as he takes a good low shot. And actually, I think it was deflected in front there. But, you know, there you look at the picture there. There's 3 Aeros in about, less than a stone's throw from the front of the net. And you get that kind of action. The defenseman has to turn and go to those guys if they're in front, therefore leaving other guys open. And they use their man advantage well there on that play. I sure hope they remember that power play goal.
Now the puck shot in by O'Connor as the Aeros trying to get it back. Conroy center when it hit skates. Puck came out in front for a moment. Conroy trying to move in. It did come out in front, and Lalim had to cover up with 5 seconds to go. And Jody Goldstein, a goal this late in the period ought to give a team a little bit of a boost.
Well, it already looks like it has. I mean, they're playing more aggressively just in those few seconds since they came back. Had a chance there for a second one. It looks like it went right off the post.
Good job by Conroy spinning around, and that almost went off the Len Barry's skate. They almost took a page out of Len Barry's book. Just throw it in front and see what happens. He's gotten 2 assists just by doing that tonight. Off of Aero defenseman, and then someone else puts the puck in.
See, I might just take a puck and throw it down myself, maybe get an assist.
It's like the lottery. You can't win unless you buy a ticket. Well, you can't score unless you're putting the puck on the net.
Good point. Puck is cleared, and it's finally at center as the buzzer sounds in this period. A very disastrous one for Houston. They were down 1-0, but gave up 4 more goals. But they did score a power play goal, and late in that period, and that should give them at least something to build on to get ready for period number 3. It's 5-1. The Lumberjacks lead it. We'll have more from the Summit after this. It's a 5-1 hockey game. The Cleveland Lumberjacks leading the Houston Aeros. Adam Gordon along with Mike Greenlay. And, well, I'll tell you, this hockey team continues to stymie me. I mean, just when you think, the Las Vegas game, granted, that was a euphoric win because they had a 4-1 lead after 2 periods of play and kind of squandered that, but they did win the hockey game. And just like when you think this team's ready to turn it around, they have this one tonight.
And, in the previous games, we've seen big mistakes be the reason why they're losing the games. Tonight they haven't made any glaring mistakes, but I think it's just Cleveland capitalizing on their chances. They're just throwing the puck at the net, driving players to the net. That causes turnovers, causes extra men in front of the net, and they're just scoring on them. I mean, I think that's, like we said earlier, the Aeros are going to have to start taking a page of other teams' books in that aspect.
Yeah, and the thing is you got to feel for someone like Troy Gamble, who I have to admit, hasn't been Troy Gamble like tonight, but he hasn't had a lot of help. It's been good goal. Len Barry has had his way tonight.
Well, Len Barry, a couple of the goals he scored were off of people, or a couple of the assists, were off of people, and then the puck was jammed in the net. And then, of course, a goal by himself later on. So yes, he has got 2 assists and a goal tonight. So he has done very well for himself.
He talked
about Cleveland Lumberjacks.
Yeah, he talked about the fact they haven't made many mistakes. The Aeros haven't. Well, let's take a look at the highlights, and maybe we can break this down a little bit more. It was 1-0 after 1. But Cleveland went to work.
Well, Cleveland, a very good pass here to Brad Lauer, and Lauer just winds up at the top of the circle. And I think Gamble thought he was going the other way, and that's why Gamble's left leg is extended, not his right leg. And I think Lauer just took a good shot and fooled him. And then, of course, this play right here is the puck's fed in the zone, and Barry comes in on a breakaway, and Gamble will get a piece of it and make the save. But Barry will just throw it out front. It'll go off of, I think, Steve Jakes' skate, and then Savoy just tips it in the net. That's very much like the first goal they scored. And all of a sudden, it's 3-0 Lumberjacks.
And then they continue to pour it on as Oleg Belov gets a nice goal here.
And he does, but not before some good work by Callender. And eventually the puck gets passed across, and Belov, all he has to do is dump the puck in the ocean there, and it's 4-0 all of a sudden.
And then they make it 5-0, and this is on the 5-on-3 power play.
Right, and a good heads-up play by Corey Foster. He just sees Barry all alone down low, and it's hard on a 5-on-3 to cover someone like that down low.
But the power play had been struggling for the Aeros until now. They finally break an 0-for-36 string.
Well, again, we're going to have one more look at this one because it was a nice goal. Corey Foster, like we said, very smart play as he faked the shot and passed it down low. But yes, they do break that slump in the power play as Laniel gets a good shot on goal at the top of the circle, or sorry, at the blue line, and he feeds it in there and finds the far corner. I think it might have even been tipped in, I'm not sure, but a very good play nevertheless.
And as you try to find something positive to build on, I think, a goal late in that period, the Aeros go into the locker room and say, hey, at least, we show that if we can get a little pressure on Patrick Lalime, we can beat him, because they have absolutely put no pressure on him tonight, and they finally started doing it late in that period.
Well, he has had kind of a break tonight, and the first good opportunity, or first couple of good opportunities, all of a sudden you find yourself with a goal, so they need to keep that pressure on.
All right, 5-1. Cleveland leads it. We'll have more right after this. Cleveland leading the Houston Aeros after 2 periods of play. And let's take a look at tonight's second period stats, brought to you by your local Texas Jeep and Eagle dealers. 5-1 after 2, 19-18 the shots in favor of Cleveland. Power plays, well, the Aeros finally dent the power play net, 1 of 6 on the power play, while Cleveland is 2 of 5. 22 faceoffs won by the Aeros, 17 by Cleveland. Aeros 5 penalties for 10 minutes. And the Cleveland Lumberjacks 6 penalties for 12 minutes, and it's a 5-1 Cleveland lead. And Let's take a look at tonight's game summary. It's brought to you by Columbia Healthcare Systems. After the first period, Brad Lauer his fifth from Mike Stevens and Len Berry at 2:43. Hey, it was a good game at that point, but here come the Cleveland Lumberjacks with 4 more. Lauer, second of the night, 6th of the year at 3:21 from Drake Berhowski. Then at 8:26, Ryan Savoya, his first from Mike Berry and Victor Gervais. And then Oleg Belov, his 4th from McElwain and Jock Collender at 13:51. And then Len Berry, second goal of the year. Goal with 2 other assists. Foster and Lauer getting the assist. But the Aeros with just 21 seconds remaining in that second period. They do credit Paul DiPietro. I thought Laniel got it, but you did bring up a point that it was deflected. And DiPietro gets the goal. It is 5-1 in favor of the Jacks.
Well, yeah, DiPietro did get his stick on it, and on the replay we did see that. So he did get credit for the goal. And again, he was all alone in front, and that's why he's able to tip it in.
All right, 5-1 Cleveland, third period. When we return, we'll be right back.
Technology is changing faster than ever. For the latest in computers, look to Best Buy, where you'll find the threshold of performance, the 133 megahertz Pentium processor. It's standard in this new Packard Bell computer, and with a 1.2 gig hard drive, 16 megs of memory, and Windows 95, this is a computer on the cutting edge. Computer Revolution Headquarters, only at Best Buy.
Cleveland Lumberjacks leading the Aeros 5-1 as we get started with the third period of action, and it's time to reveal who our featured Aero player was on our Watch and Win contest. It's Gord Krupke. And Gord Krupke, who's been trying to get over his shoulder injury. He's out about another 3 weeks or so, and hopefully he will be back in the lineup. And I'll tell you, he will be a welcome return to the lineup. Enjoys fishing and playing golf, and as you notice, for those of you watching on Prime Sports, he's got the goatee. Doesn't have it anymore, though. He
got rid of that.
I like the goat, though, on him. I like it.
Makes him look mean.
Yes, there you go. Mean. And our winner, who correctly identified Gord Krupke, is Mike Dyke from Houston. Mike has won a trip for 2 to Las Vegas to see the Aeros play the Thunder, and will stay at the Imperial Palace Hotel. Remember to stop by your local Chrysler, Plymouth, Dodge, Jeep, and Eagle dealers tomorrow to see who the next featured player is. Rob Dobson in goal tonight for the Aeros to spell Troy Gamble in this third period.
And you can't really point a finger of fault at Troy Gamble tonight. You know, some tough goals that goalies kind of shake their head and say, how the heck does that go in? You know, I played it right and everything, but you know, a tip in, a couple deflections. But Dobson in goal right now, and he comes into the game. He's played 8 games this year. He has a 3.71 average, an 89 save percentage. So Gamble having a seat, and of course Dobson in, and maybe they can. This is a spark that the Aeros need to get them going, along with that goal near the end of the second period.
Jody, how many times did we see it last year where Dauber came in where the game was apparently out of hand and they came back?
He did it quite often. I know that Terry Ruskowski really thinks that tends to pick up the players, just having a different face in there. They play a little bit harder, and maybe it'll happen here today.
All right, puck is center ice. Peter Allen brings it across the line, lets the shot go, and Dobson tested with a right pad save, and he's got it kicked out to center ice. Mike Stevens, center circle, shoots it into the Aero zone. Back is Houston, Steve Jakes. Jakes turns it out to center for McCrory. He's chopped down, but now it is Kevin Malgunas. Blue line slap shot, and that's hammered wide of the net. That's what the Aeros need, just some shots.
That's right. Just anything can happen. You get guys driving to the net and you take a big old slap shot. Sometimes those go in.
Puck is shot into the Aero end, and Kevin Grant turns his back to play it. Minute gone in the third, and the Aeros down 5-1. Conroy trying to steer one ahead. Jock Collender is there. And finally, the Aeros, Grant trying to move one ahead. Conroy takes his man along the boards. And here comes Dave McElwain for Cleveland, far boards. Slip down for Beloff, tried to center it to Collender, and the Aeros clear it. Conroy at center ice. Looks for Arneal, who's back out now as the first line reunited. Freer, Arneal, and Conroy. Puck is back into the Aero zone. Scott Arneal. They reverse back along the far boards, and he'll move it up ice for Conroy. Chipped it out at center, trying to get it by Stefan Bergqvist. Here is Freer across the line. Looks in front. He's got Conroy. Shoots. Stop. by Lalime, and he will hold on. So Mark Freer ripped the shot, but a left pad save by Patrick Lalime, and he holds on. 5-1 Cleveland.
And you know what? That's exactly the kind of play that the Aeros need to keep doing. Watch Valamon even breaking to the net, and Freer taking just a good slap shot, making sure he gets it on net. Of course, the Aeros have to stop at the front of the net before, they can't just skate by it, but just a good start to hopefully a good period. You saw Arneal in front of the net. Arneal only needs one more point to get his 600th career point, so he was looking for it on that play as Freer took a shot.
And after tonight, 2 games shy of 1,000 in his pro career. Here is Turgeon with his shot. Ooh, and Lalime holds on. So we have seen 3 shots here. We've got Malgunas, Freer, and now Turgeon as the Aeros trying to maybe get something generated.
And Lalime hasn't really seen a lot of shots so far this game, at least the good ones like this. And Turgeon just spins and fires this one. And as you can see, Lalime is kind of being very sure about some of these shots as he doesn't want to let me go, but a good time to jump all over a goaltender at the beginning of a period when he hasn't seen a lot of action so far.
Puck cleared to the line, held in by Donnelly. The shot again right on. Lalime stopped that. So they're testing him here a little bit in the start of this 3rd period. Slivchenko to the line. O'Connor, that shot goes wide of the net. Lauer picks it up, and he'll move it to the line and out at center ice. Turgeon scraped him off the play, looking for DiPietro. And here come the Lumberjacks. Left to right. Dominic Pittis across the line. Savoy, right side, sends it right back for Pittis. Couldn't pull the trigger. Was tipped away, and now Slivchenko off to the races. Busting down the right side with Turgeon, DiPietro. Slivchenko in the circle, centered it just behind Paul DiPietro. And away the Lumberjacks come. Savoya, right side into the arrow end, and Dobson slows, who comes in for the Troy Gamble. Gave up 5 goals, but again, no way reflection on how he played. He wasn't as good as we've seen him, but not a lot of help, and they wanted to give him a night off. Period off as a puck comes a shot. They score! Mike Yeo! So the hard work pays off. They come up with a goal, and it's now 5-2 Cleveland.
Well, good job by Slivchenko, as he wheels and deals in that zone, and he just kept driving. You know what he did is he pulled the goalie aside, he dumped the puck into his pad, and Yeo, standing on the edge of the crease, tucks it in. A good job by Slivchenko as he cuts across, causing Lalime to come. And look at Mike Yeo. He positioned himself right at the top of that crease, and that's what the Aeros need to start doing. They have to get at the top of that crease, and they have to stop, because you're going to get a big fat rebound like this one right here, and Yeo makes good on that one as the Aeros come back at the start of this 3rd period with a goal. And well, before that we saw a lot of good shots. That's Mike Yeo's first of the season.
Aeros down 5-2 now, but all of a sudden with lots of time, maybe a goal here, and they're down by 2. Drake Berhowski pass to the left side for Stefan Bergqvist. He'll shoot it into the Aero zone. Dobson comes out. He will glove it and hold on with 17:10 to go in the 3rd.
Adam, momentum's a funny thing. You get a couple goals real quick, 17 minutes left. You never know what can happen. And we've seen that before.
Well, they've got 2 goals in a very quick span, because remember, with only 21 seconds remaining in the 2nd, they got DiPietro's goal. And with about 2.5 into this 3rd period, they get another one. So they're trying to find something to build on, and the hard work has paid off as they're now within 3 at 5-2.
There's no reason why a team with, on paper, you look at this team, no reason why this team should be down by this many goals, but they also have a lot of character on this team, a lot of leadership. I can see them coming back and making this a real heck of a game.
Jakes for Laniel, streaking down the left side. Ryan shoots, stopped by Lalime, rebound in front. Malgunas went right after Berhowski with a big hit. Laniel steers it down in the corner. Bergqvist trying to play it away. And now it is Victor Gervais. Moves it out to center ice with Perry and Mike Stevens. Perry shoots it into the Aero zone. And Jakes will go back to play. Steve Jakes up by Perry. It came to the far boards, and now Malgunas off to the races. Center ice, nice pass for Yeo. Trying to move it across the line, tipped away. Yeo then knocked down, the play going on. And Corey Foster is back. Foster for Cleveland with 3.5 gone in the 3rd. 5-2 Jacks across the line. Gervais looking in front. It was tipped away. Valamon tried to pick it loose, and it came to the line. Bassigio jammed it behind the net. Mark Freer takes over to Maurice. Out to center for Grant. Kevin Grant to Mark Freer. Trying to get it back. Grant right in on goal. Wade shoots. Oh, and he hooked it wide. He made a nice move, but again, couldn't tuck it in. And I think Lalime closed the door at the last second, but a nice rush by Houston. McAway the other way. McAway giving it to Beloff across the line. And tell you what a turnabout in this third period for Houston.
Again, we see that switch being turned on and off, and they've got it on for sure right now, Adam.
Doc Hollander sends it behind the net. And here come the Cleveland Lumberjacks. Beloff, a drive into the near corner. Back to play it. It's Conroy. And it came out at center for DiPietro. He'll have to circle back to his own blue line. We have played only 4.5 minutes, and the Aeros already out shooting Cleveland 8-1. Right side, DiPietro. Wide. Shoots right upstairs on the lead. Looked like he was trying to waste one from the far side. Puck in the far circle. It's clear to neutral ice and back into the Aero zone. And Dobson comes out. Dobson banked it off the boards of the line. Not out. Held in the shot. Score! It was jammed in there, and it is now 6-2 Cleveland as Dobson trying to get it out of there. But I believe McIlwain hammered it in there to make it 6-2.
That's unfortunate. Dobson very good with the puck normally, but he just didn't have enough oomph on that one to get it out as he dumps it out. But McIlwain, a good job to keep it in the zone. And after that, all he had to do was hit a wide open net as Dobson, there's no way he could get back. Actually, McIlwain really made sure he put it right underneath the bar. Usually guys will slide it in on the ice, but somehow he hoists this one and he puts it right underneath the bar, making sure that Dobson really wouldn't get it.
Puck controlled by Foster. Forecheck by DiPietro. And came to center ice. Corey Foster shoots it into the Aero zone. Dobson out of the net to slow. Spanks it far. Boards Pittis helps inside. Trying to turn it down. Lauer, though. Lauer behind the cage. DiPietro on his case. And Jake's trying to send it up the boards. Knocked away by Pittis. And the Aeros will move it out at center ice. Sylvain Turgeon. He'll charge at center ice. Shoot it into the Cleveland zone. After it, Slivchenko trying to get it through Basigio. The puck game free. And Cleveland will take over. Dominic Pittis. Right side for Ryan Savoia. Center ice pass intercepted by Jakes. And he'll give it to DiPietro across the line. Trying to center one. Slivchenko had zigged when he should have zagged, and the pass missed him. And the puck goes down the ice. Icing is indicated as Jakes goes back. Play whistle down, and we take timeout. 6-2 Cleveland. We'll be right back. But first, this word by Southwest Airlines.
6-2 Lumberjacks, and Mike Lego, the referee, I was jogging down my street this summer in Calgary and I ran into him. He was, I was staying at my parents' house, of course, and right across the street, his parents live. I didn't know till I ran into him. So it's a small world out there, I guess.
You'll have to do the Christmas dinner thing together sometime.
Oh, I don't live there anymore. I live in Houston.
Yeah, we'll have him come in here. You make the big point. Fly him in. Have Christmas dinner with him. Come on. Puck controlled by the Cleveland Lumberjacks. And here comes Len Berry. These scampers up and out of the zone, but Mike Yo tipped it away. Back is Peter Allen. Aim off the boards to center. Oh, Malgunas got a little elbow up on Len Berry, and play going on. Len Berry yelling at Kevin Malgunas. Peter Allen behind the net. On to McCrory check, and here comes Berry to center ice, trying to shake off one check. Kevin Grant on his case, and a penalty coming up to Kevin Grant. And then he tackles him. Malgunas tackles him, and that could be 1st and 10 for Cleveland.
It will be as they get another chance on the power play. Grant just using, he was actually really pawing him. I guess you can't use your arms or your I suppose your stick to hold up a player, and Grant will go off.
Well,
Tell you what, Malgunas likes to get in the middle of things. You know, he was, for the amount of playing time he got last year, he was probably one of the more penalized players, and he's one of the more aggressive, more physical players out there.
Well, that's the book on Kevin Malgunas. In fact, the best way to describe Kevin Malgunas, who sits in the box, is, or excuse me, on the bench. He's not in the penalty box. It's Grant, but Malgunas is a north kind of guy. All he does is head straight ahead. No east-west, not even south. Never see him backtrack.
Just full throttle.
Yeah. So
he's a very intense player too. The guys kind of bug him when he really gets going. They say, "Hey, that's enough on the coffee."
Yeah, the guy, I've never seen him just relax with a nice, quiet glass of ice water and a book. He's just intense the whole way. With moniker, and that's what makes him a good player. Puck controlled by Miles with Connor, trying to get it out of the zone. Cannot. Jock Callender out of back, centered in front. And Barry trying to get a shot away, couldn't, and then it was tipped away, and right back down the ice it goes. This is power play opportunity number 6 for Cleveland. They're 2 of 5. Total of 3 shots on goal. And away the Lumberjacks come. Pass left side. Callender tipped it back, and Dominic Pittis hooked down by Freer, and Freer moves in short-handed. Shoots! Score! Mark Freer, a short-handed goal. And the look on his face after that kind of said it all. It's like, my word, thank you very much. It's now a 6-3 hockey game.
And I think that look also said, hey, I mean, look at him. I finally, something just got off my shoulders, and I tell you what a good feeling.
Yeah, we've talked a couple times about how frustrated Mark Freer has been, and I think if anything's going to get him going now, that was it.
Well, you know, it's such a good feeling to kind of get that monkey off your back, and hopefully it'll turn in. I mean, he's had some great opportunities all night, and finally he just made good on it with just a good shot that beat Lalim.
Monkey, more like an orangutan he's had on his back.
He is. I remember he came to me at the point of this year, or one point of the year, and he says, Adam, I've watched so much videotape, I feel like I'm Siskel and Ebert. I just don't know. I mean, at least he's identified it. And like Jody had alluded to earlier in the broadcast, is that nobody works at it harder than Mark Freer and takes it more personal. And maybe this will turn it around as the puck goes out of play. Now, Cleveland's still on the power play for a minute 5. 7 minutes gone in the third, 6-3 Cleveland.
Well, if he's watched that much video, I'm giving him 2 thumbs up for that.
All right. So the Aeros down by 3. And that is their 4th shorthanded goal, and the first one not by a defenseman.
That is good, too. Shows that the forwards are starting to forecheck the way they should.
The Aeros were one of the top teams shorthanded last year. In fact, led the season most of the year. I think San Diego ended up catching them, but they were always a top shorthanded team last year.
Yeah, till about 2/3 of the way through, they really did a nice job.
Puck goes down into the Cleveland zone. Lalim will slow, and Corey Foster is there. Foster will move it from left to right. Under a minute to go in the Cleveland power play. Right side, Peter Allen across the line. Allen trying to move it in, and here's the puck control. Jakes trying to move it along the near side, and Jakes in the corner, grinding it out. It comes to Laniel behind the net. Laniel will turn and hoist it down the ice, and that'll go all the way down with 33 seconds remaining in the Kevin Grant Miners 6-3 Cleveland. Goal doesn't go in from Dobson, that long blue line slap shot. This is a 5-3 game, and all of a sudden things are very different. Puck shot into the Cleveland zone. Far side, Yo picks it up along the boards. Foster takes him in there, and away the Jacks come to the line. Not out. McCrory held it in. You know, it's been interesting. This has been the line that's kind of started it. They kind of loosen things up with their aggressive play, and then all of a sudden somebody else comes in and finishes the job, even though Yo's got a goal. Hey, Mark Freer gets a goal there. Could look well for the Aeros. Down 6-3. Puck shot in there, and Dobson makes a glove save, and he will hold on with 11:50 to go in the third period. 6-3 Lumberjacks lead it, and we'll be right back.
6-3, Lumberjacks still lead, but a great save by Dobson, as positioning is number 1 here as the puck's deflected when it gets to the net, and it's deflected right up into Dobson's big catching mitt there, and he hangs on for the face-off, which is to the right of him now.
Greener, is this a big deal having him in for the third period in the sense that he's probably going to start against Michigan on Saturday? You can get him a game here because he's had the 4-day layoff just like everybody else, plus he didn't play against Vegas. Does this mean anything getting him in at this point?
Well, I think getting him in for the team's sake is number 1 here, but yeah, throwing him into the third period, giving him a little action before Saturday is a great idea. So and if it benefits both the team and him, why not do it?
Yeah, and we're not assuming it's him. I mean, we're just saying if it is him, it's a great chance to get some work. Here's a shot that just goes wide of the net. We're just assuming what Terry Ruskowski said from day one. You win, you play. You lose, we switch. Puck goes into the Cleveland zone. Turned around by the Lumberjacks. Lauer slides it out at center, and it's Dominic Pittis across the line with Savoia. Pittis into the slot, turns, trying to get a centering pass away, and Yo got back to tip it loose, but Lauer came away with the puck and centered it. It went wide. Puck came out in front again, and Yo's off to the races. Yo, give it to Malgunas. Blue line slap shot way wide of the net, but he wanted a line change. Back are the Jacks. It's right side Savoia, and he'll send it back for Peter Allen. 11:09 to go in the third, in a 6-3 hockey game. Lumberjacks lead it. Puck is at neutral. Jakes to Scott Arneal. He's out there with Mark Freer and Al Conroy. Arneal trying to hook one in there, but Rick Hayward was there to tip it loose. And here comes Jock Hollander at center, trying to find McElwain too far, and it goes into the Aero zone. Drifting back is Jakes for Houston. In behind the net, right to left he'll come. Laniel near side for Houston. Pass to center ice for Al Conroy, trying to get Freer in front. Freer busting in. Gives Arneal down the left side. Arneal looking in front, but it is offside, and play is halted with 10:38 to go in the third period. 6-3 Cleveland. Don't forget to join us again Sunday afternoon. Tea and crumpets with Greener and myself. It's more IHL hockey action when the Aeros host the Michigan K-Wings. Last week, the Aeros handed the K-Wings their first loss in regulation, 5-4 in Kalamazoo. Michigan will be looking to get even, so don't miss the action. It's the Aeros and the K-Wings Sunday afternoon at 4. right here at Prime Sports and KPRC Radio. And come on, guys, come on out to the hockey game. Take me out to the I'm going to write a song. Take me out to the hockey game. 7th inning stretch. We'll call it the 3rd period relaxer or something like that. Who knows? I mean, I'm sure that's how the 7th inning stretch started.
And right now you see Arneal Freer back with the Arneal and Conroy out there.
Block is worked by McElwain, sliced out at center. Back is Laniel. He's harassed by Callender, and he sends it over to the far side for Jakes. And Steve Jakes will head up ice. Jakes, long lead pass, misses Freer. It's pushed off the glass, and right back down the ice it goes. Laniel there to play it, and play halted with exactly 10:01 to go in the 3rd. Cleveland 6, Aeros 3, and Robbie Dobson coming in for Troy Gamble in this 3rd period. You fault him for sure on the 1 goal that they scored, but yet, you look at the way he's played. He hasn't played that poorly at all. And, the Aeros need some solid goaltending here if they want to make a run at things, down 6-3. And Terry Ruskowski with his arms folded, trying to find out what his next combination will be.
And like we said, he has switched it back up to the original lines, and now you have DiPietro, Turgeon, and Slivchenko out there.
Corey Foster off the draw for Cleveland, moves to center ice. And it'll go into the Aero zone. Cleveland, a team that had lost 5 in a row, beginning the road trip here, then rattled off 3 in a row, including a win against Kansas City, and looking to make it 4 in a row right here. It's 6-3 Jacks. Turgeon shoots it into the Cleveland zone. A bouncing puck. The lead tries to slow. Basizio turned it up the left side, and Mike Stevens came to center ice. Stevens through the neutral zone, turns one out the left side for Gervais. He's knocked down by Turgeon. They're going to call a penalty on Sylvain Turgeon with 9:28 to go in the 3rd, and a 3-blot lead for the Jacks.
Well, I think Turgeon, got his stick hooked around Gervais, and he just leaned back with Gervais, and they both went to the ice. It kind of disappoints me because you saw the same kind of thing earlier on in the game when Freer was hooked. It's the exact same thing. Turgeon hooks Gervais, and they both go down. While earlier on in the game, Freer was hooked, but there was no call. And that's not. I don't know if that's the turning point in the game, but it was a big play because that's right after that where the Cleveland Lumberjacks scored their first goal of the night on the power play.
Face off right side of Rob Dobson, so Cleveland on the man advantage. They've got 2 power play goals tonight. Off the draw, they've got it left side, Foster. He's got a cannon, we'll keep an eye on it. Peter Allen, right side, trying to steer it for Lauer. Callender behind the cage for Len Barry. Barry back to the line for Foster. Looked it back for Barry, and now Foster lets the shot go. It was blocked in front, never made it to Gamble, and the Aeros just shoot it right back down the ice. Compliments of Scott McCrory. 1:38 left in Turgeon's minor. 9:03 to go in the 3rd. 6-3 Lumberjacks. Conroy trying to push one ahead. Peter Allen had it knocked away, and now Maurice shorthanded, going in on goal, and he just fired it wide. It rolled off his stick. Tried to go in front, but it rolled off his stick and wide of the cage. Mike Barry moving the other way across the line. Aeros would love another goal and make it a 2-blot lead for Cleveland. Try and cut it down. 1:14 on the power play. Shot kicked out of there by Dobson. Now the puck in front. Barry shooting, and it was tipped away. So Dobson making an electrifying save in front, and Conroy comes away with the puck for Houston. Conroy right side trying to find Freer. It goes down into the Cleveland zone. Berehowski turned it around, and Basizio is there. 50 seconds left in the Cleveland power play. Berehowski moves it out to Callender across the line. Looks for Gervais. It was tipped away by Houston. And it'll back into the Jack zone as the Aeros making changes. Basizio in his own end. 38 on the power play. It's Basizio shoots it into the zone, and back are the Houston Aeros. Near corner, trying to move it out of there, but finally it's picked up by Mike Stevens. Give it to Gervais, trying to center one for Pittis. It was knocked free by Jakes, and now Slivchenko off to the races. Slivy at center, trying to hit the line with DiPietro. Slivy hit the brakes. Slivchenko still with the puck, trying to kill off some time, and finally just shot it back to Rob Dobson, trying to break it out of the end, and Dobson clings it off the glass and out at center ice. Power play down to 8 seconds. Berehowski to Mike Stevens. Had it knocked away by Gord Donnelly. They go down into it. Slivchenko fighting for it. He kicked it to the line, not out. Penalty though over, and Turgeon out on the ice. Stevens far boards, trying to center one in front for Pittis. Was hooked on the play. Drake Berehowski is there, right side center. Oh, Dobson, great save, rebound. Oh, and another marvelous save by Rob Dobson. Wow! So Rob Dobson has come into this period and has made some outstanding saves, including that flurry in front, and he will hold on and keeping it 6-3 Cleveland.
Well, it's a good sign to see Dobson continue to play so well. Of course, there's that one little mental error he made when he tried to fire the puck out of the zone, but after that, he's been exactly solid right in front as Donnelly finally gets a hold of Gervais, but Gervais almost tucks one inside, but good save by Dobson on that one.
Yeah, those rebound situations are very similar to the goals that they scored early in the game, and those times they were putting the rebounds in. This time Dobson made a great job of getting back there for the second shot and blocking it.
Face-off left of Dobson. Top of the puck, and the Aeros have got it. Miles O'Connor spins it along the boards to the far side for Kevin Malgunas, and off the center he comes. Miss McCrory with a pass, and McElwain is back. Give it to Rick Hayward. Slammed it ahead as we're down to 7 minutes. A two-line pass coming for the Cleveland Lumberjacks, and they've got just under 7 minutes to go. 6-3 Cleveland.
Well, Terry Ruskowski looking a little perturbed there, or a little, I guess he just really shaking his head like a lot of people as the Aeros have not shown the kind of consistency they wanted. Of course, they beat Detroit on the 20th of October, then they lost to Atlanta, then they beat Michigan, then they lost to Las Vegas, then they beat Las Vegas, and now they're losing. So it seems to be like an on and off kind of thing for the Aeros right now. If things keep going the way they do, I think you can put all your money on them winning against Michigan on Saturday. But you know, that's not the kind of thing that the Aeros want to have, is this on and off type of play where they win a game, lose a game, win a game, lose a game. They have to throw together a 3, 4, 5 game winning streak here. It really helped them in the standings not only, but it also helped them in their own heads.
Scott McCrory centering a line with Yeo and Malgunas. O'Connor and Donnelly defensively. O'Donnelly, a shot in the stick save made by Laline, picked up by Hayward. Trying to get it out of there. McCrory behind the cage, looking in front. Scott McCrory worked on by Beloff. Now McCrory again. He tried to center one, but it was knocked free by Hayward and slammed to the line. Donnelly held it in. Down for Malgunas. Space of the right circle. It was centered, but nobody there for Houston, and Peter Allen will skate it out for Jock Callender. Shoots it into the Aeros zone. After it, it was McElwain. Puck came in front. The shot. It scored. Okay, I didn't see it go in. The light never came on. Pardon me. The light never came on. The referee never signaled, but it did go in there. And Jock Callender has the goal. It's 7-3 Cleveland.
And I tell you what, you know, it was just a smart play by Jock Callender. You know what he did? He dumps it in. He gets the own puck off the boards, and he scores. It's like he was skating in all alone on that play. As he picked up the puck, he saw that he didn't have a play with it, so he does a smart thing. He dumps it into the corner. What happens? It comes off the boards. Here it is, Callender making the smart play, but watch him. He'll get that puck as it comes right back out in front, and all he does is shoot it. And it goes upstairs over the shoulder of Rob Dobson. And boy, is that another funny play. But, you know, Jock Callender, right now, or not anymore, he'll be 7th on the all-time goal-scoring list in the IHL. And that's the kind of goals that has got him there.
Puck is at center for Ryan Savoia. He's hit by Valamont. And Dennis takes Valamont into the boards, and here's Scott Arneal with under 6 minutes to go. Arneal wrapped up and locked into the boards. Lauer trying to dig it out for Cleveland. It's taken by Freer, cleared to the line, and not out, and finally it came to center. Conroy, a pass for Valamont, pushed it into the Cleveland zone. Lalim out of the cage, but he shot it right over to Al Conroy, base of the left circle. Behind the net for Freer, belted by Stefan Bergqvist. They go at it behind the net. Ooh, Freer got a stick up on Stefan Bergqvist, but play went on. It was inadvertent now. Maurice, the shot right on Lalim, stopped the rebound. Wow, great save by Lalim. Another one, and Lalim got a piece of that one. So the Aeros 3 chances, and Lalim more like a lemon to the Aeros there. At center, it is Mark Laniel. Flipped it through the skates of Gervais, pinching down the left side for DiPietro, and then knocked down by Foster. Puck came behind the net. Here's a stuff shot in front by Maurice, and Lalim is down. He will cover up with 5:04 to go in the third. 7-3 Cleveland.
Good job by Lalim on that last flurry there. I mean, he was laying on his stomach, and he was making saves with the back of his glove and his head and everything, but he still kept the puck out of the net. The puck was really bouncing around. A good save right here by his glove. He'll get his arm up in the air again when the rebound is shot. Or actually, that hit him on the top of the head, so I guess when you're hot, you're hot, and when things are going your way, they're going your way. This, if he wins, will be his 4th win in a row.
It's hard to be real positive when you're down by 4 goals, but at least it's nice to see in this period that they're taking a lot more quality shots. The shots were almost even in the first 2 periods, but it really seemed like Cleveland had a lot more quality shots than the Aeros did.
Here's the shot by Laniel that was stopped. Maurice, a quick backhander that surprised Lalim. Oh, man, that came at him in a hurry. At center, the Lumberjacks come Stevens across the line. That is offside with 4:50 to go in the 3rd. And now we've got Jakes getting into it with one of the Lumberjacks. I couldn't see who it was, but now that Jack is firing back at Jakes. I'm trying to see the number. He's kind of wrapped up. Maurice wants in there. Oh, it's Mike Stevens. And while they sort all this out, we take timeout. 4:50 to go in the 3rd. Cleveland 7, Houston 3. We're right back. 7-3, the Lumberjacks leading the Aeros, and Steve Jakes, Miss Goldstein, a very aggressive side of him we know all too well.
You know, I saw Steve Jakes after the game Friday night, and I looked at him and he had no stitches in his face, and I made the comment, I think it was the first time during the hockey season I've seen him without stitches in his face, and he told me he'd just gotten them taken out that morning.
Yeah, but
it was the first time he could remember it too.
He had a couple black eyes to go along with it. I think and one thing he did do to Mike Stevens there is he bloodied his nose a little bit. Mike Stevens has gone off the ice.
They're picking up the calls right now. I believe just 10-minute misconducts. Yeah, 2s for roughing and 10s for misconducts, and we'll keep things at 5 aside.
Yeah, they each got 2 for roughing and 10-minute misconducts, and they'll both be gone for the rest of the game, and because there's only 4 minutes left.
You know, I'm not sure about the rules here, but I would think that you'd want to still go 4-on-4, even though there's 2s. I guess the misconducts are what rule out. But, you know, of course, coincidental minors, you should go 4-on-4.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that call either.
Jock Hollander cleared it out. That's the only thing I can assume is that when you got 10-minute misconducts, anytime you take back-to-back penalties, you don't go like that. Just when you have coincidental 2-minute minors. I think it's pretty explicit there. Malgunas across the line trying to get by Rick Hayward. And Peter Allen takes over. Malgunas knocked it free. Here is Yo again turning and centering one. It went wide. We're at 5-on-5 hockey for 4:18. Puck came down low for Scott McCrory. McCrory looking behind the cage. He dodged the check from Peter Allen. Well, caught enough of it to knock him down though, and Beloff will spank it out at center ice. Donnelly trying to push it free from McAway. And the Aeros trying to get back into this thing. Down 6-3 with 4 minutes to go, and the Aeros are offside. Let's take timeout. 7-3 Cleveland. We'll be back. Back in action. Jacks with the puck. Turn it down the left side. It is knocked free as the Jacks trying to move it in there. It was Freer that turned it around the boards, and it's Drake Berhowski right side. It came out at center ice. Left side, Stefan Bergqvist shot it ahead. Aeros turned it around though, and Mike Maurice regroups at his own blue line. 3:09 to go. 7-3 Cleveland. Maurice across. He's tipped off the puck, and Lumberjacks come to center ice. Len Barry shoots it into the arrow end. Dobson slows, and Mark Laniel is there. Pass to Yo, and here comes Freer to center ice. Back for Yo, left side. Ooh, did that go off the helmet of Foster, or off Corey Foster? It looked like it did. Basicchio trying to turn it near side, and Mike Yo takes him into the board. I'll tell you what, Mike Yo's had an incredible game tonight. He's got a goal, and he has worked hard. Puck came out to Yo, but couldn't pull the trigger. Now Donnelly right side, trying to move it down, and finally cleared out at center. Mark Laniel back at his own blue line. Forecheck by Barry. Laniel turning, and here comes Yo to Paul DiPietro. DiPietro at center. Ooh, saw Slivchenko breaking, couldn't get it to him. And back is Gord Donnelly. Donnelly with 2:20 to go. Trying to move it up ice. It's Yo to center. Yo trying to slice through the check. He will backhand one into the Cleveland end. And it's picked up by Peter Allen. Dodged the DiPietro check. And away the Lumberjacks come. Ryan Savoia through the neutral zone across the line. It came down. Dobson covers up, and he will hold on. 1:59 to go in the third. 7-3 Cleveland. I want to make one more announcement, Greener, about, a lot of people have been asking how they can get into contact with you, ask you questions, and contact with me. And I just want to let everyone know that I am officially on email and on internet. And if you wish to write us, either Mike or myself, the address is, and this is all in lowercase, A Gordon, that's one word, A Gordon, Gordon, at the little @ sign Aeros, AEROS.com. Just feel free, if you've got email, write us. And I'm going to make Greener start answering some of these letters. Put them to work here. If you got a question for Mike or myself, we'll be happy to email you back. Again, that's agordon@aeros.com. We look forward to hearing from you. We've gotten a lot of great response on the email already, and we haven't even pushed it. Puck is controlled by Houston. Carl Valamont near side. He will meander up and out of the zone to Maurice. Off skates, though. Maurice got it back. Mike Maurice across the Cleveland blue line. Tipped away by Peter Allen. Loose at center ice, and Victor Gervais steers it into the Aero zone. After it, Miles O'Connor behind net, and he'll fire it over for Kevin Malgunas. His pass knocked away by Lauer. Lauer cutting into the circle, shoots, trying to go upstairs on Dobson, missed the net, and Maurice is there. Maurice, fire circle, pass center ice for Kevin Malgunas. He'll take another center ice slap. We've got about 4 of those tonight. Just kind of see if we can keep Patrick Lalime honest. Cleveland feed the puck into the Aero zone, and Weisman takes a dump there as he was hitting hard down to the ice, and he gets back up. That was for Nelson that got nailed on that. Now Slivchenko speeding the other way. Slivy near side, piece the left circle. We're down to the final minute. Freer to Conroy off skates. And Bergfist is there, and he will shoot that up over the glass and out of play. And Jody Goldstein, I guess, you know, as you try and find something positive here, although not much shown, we see a goal tonight by Mark Freer, maybe a sign of breaking out.
Saw a shorthanded goal too, and you know, just saw them pick up the level in the third period. And it's nice to see when you get down 4 or 5 goals that you can still pick the level up and pick up the intensity and come back on them.
All right, it's time for our Gatorade play of the game, sponsored by Gatorade, and it was a nice setup for Len Barry.
Well, it was on the power play, and Corey Foster just fed Len Barry down low at the bottom of the circle, and he made good on that one.
And made it 5-0, and that was pretty well the one that sealed the fate, and at this point could almost be looked at as a game-winning goal. You need to look at the 6th goal that they scored as the official game winner. Puck picked up by, or excuse me, the 4th one is the game winner. Puck controlled by Dominic Pittis, trying to get by Kevin Grant. Did so. Grant gave him a pretty good introduction to the boards behind that. Ooh, got the stick up on him, a play going on. And now we get a whistle, and with 24 seconds left, tempers beginning to increase once again. And I want to remind everybody real quickly to join us this weekend, the Aeros and the Michigan K-Wings, Saturday and Sunday right here at the Summit.
You know, Adam, one streak you'll see continue is obviously Cleveland's streak. This will be their 4th game in a row. You'll see the Aeros streak end. That was at 1 game. You'll also see a couple more streaks end. That'll be if things stay the way they are. You'll see Miles O'Connor's streak of 3 assists in the last 3 games end, and you'll also see Sylvain Turgeon's 3-game goal scoring streak. And so we have some streaks continuing, some ending, and unfortunately the 3 that are ending are for the Aeros.
And again, Scott Arniel, after tonight, or now officially, 2 games shy of 1,000. That's a pretty good mark for pro hockey. 1,000 games. It's not bad. And we have enjoyed watching Scott through not only last year, but this year. And I've enjoyed following Scott through his NHL career, Winnipeg and Boston and Buffalo. Puck controlled by Mike Maurice. And he'll steer one out to Gord Donnelly at center ice. Return it for Maurice. It was off skates and turned around by Drake Berehowski, trying to move it up the ice. Barry, a rink-wide pass for Lauer, trying to cut into the Aero end, but Miles O'Connor is there, and that'll be the hockey game. 2 seconds left, and this hockey game is over. Well, no, we get a whistle. Excuse me. They got a little 2-line pass they want to take care of, and then this hockey game will be over.
7-3 is a score right now. I don't think you'll see any scoring to finish this game off. But you know what, Adam? A lot of goals scored against the Aeros by the Cleveland, and you look at Cleveland's lineup, and you kind of say, and I'm sure Terry Ruskowski's looked at it too, and he's saying, where are all these goals coming from? I mean, we've played teams that have had just as good of players or better, and you know, they haven't got those kind of goals against us. But right now, in the last 2 games that they've played Cleveland, Cleveland scored 15 goals on them.
So this hockey game is over as they drop the puck. 7-3. The Cleveland Lumberjacks defeat the Houston Aeros. Jody, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for inviting me.
Oh, anytime. You did a terrific job. We look forward to reading your stuff in the Houston Chronicle.
Thanks a lot.
All right, Jody Goldstein of the Chronicle joining us here, and we'll have more from the Summit right after this. Welcome back to the Summit, everybody. Adam Gordon along with Mike Greenlay. The Lumberjacks and the Aeros, their 9th loss of the year, the 7-3 win, and You know, I think your first key of tonight in that Oshman's game plan about the layoff, I think that had a little bit to do with it tonight.
Well, it had a little bit to do with it, but I think you look at how the goals were scored tonight, and I think the Cleveland Lumberjacks worked hard and they capitalized on their opportunities, basically.
And again, I guess the question is in your mind, is Mark Freer, he had a good game tonight, I thought, you know, got a goal, short and a goal, maybe some encouraging signs.
Well, I saw a lot of encouraging signs by Mark Freer. I mean, Mark Freer had 3 or 4 almost chances. I mean, he had a couple breakaways that were broken up either by things that should have been called as penalties or pucks that just went off his skate, and he had a couple chances in front. So, I mean, you saw the possibility of him scoring a lot of goals tonight. He got one, so I think he might be getting out of that slump that they were talking about.
And folks, let's not forget here, the Aeros before tonight's game were winners of 4 of their last 6. I mean, this was a team that was at least winning some hockey games.
Well, yeah, and then like we talked about before, the only problem I see is that they're winning one, losing one, winning one, losing one, and they seem to be going in that motion. I'd like to see them win 3 or 4 in a row, and then if they drop one, fine. But right now they can't keep up this kind of back and forth kind of thing.
And I don't want to make a big deal about this, but I think, you know, you look at what lies ahead for Houston. Mark Lamb was supposed to play tonight, but couldn't quite get the deal settled enough to get him into town. The deal is done. Mark Lamb will most likely be here tomorrow, and he will practice with the team, most likely, I would say, first thing in the morning for the pregame skate against the Michigan K-Wings. This guy is going to give the Aeros 3 bona fide centers when you look at it. Paul DiPietro, Mark Freer, and of course Mark Lamb, and throw in Al Conroy if he ever had to go back into there. I mean, things are going to look very bright for the Houston Aeros.
And we've talked about how well the Aeros have looked on paper, and you have to ask yourself, if a team that looks this good on paper, why can't they roll 3, 4, 5 wins in a row? I'm sure you'll see that happen eventually, but right now there's still something hanging over their heads, and you know what? I can't figure it out. Can you? Write us. I mean, tell us.
Email us. Let us know what your thought is, because I'll tell you, it's amazing. Let's take a look at tonight's Texaco star of the game. It is Mike Yeo, picked up his first goal of the season. He had a terrific hockey game, including the goal he scored.
And, you know, we talked about hard work. Mike Yeo worked really hard tonight, and he was rewarded tonight as Slivchenko dumps the puck in front of the net. A good save by Lalim, but look at Mike Yeo right on the doorstep where he should be, where actually all the Aeros should be standing on a shot on goal, and he was rewarded with a goal. Just hard work.
Yeah, and that line was terrific. Yo, Malgunas, and Scott McCrory. Maurice played a little bit on there. Let's take a look at tonight's final stats. They're brought to you by your local Dodge dealers. 7-3 the final, 34-27. Again, the Aeros outshoot their opponent, but can't come up with the win. Power plays 2 of 7 for Cleveland. Aeros 1 of 6. They end an 0 for 36 drought in this hockey game. 0 for their last 36 on the power play at home. 35 faceoffs, 1 for Houston, 27, 1 for the Cleveland Lumberjacks. 10 penalties for 28 minutes for the Aeros. 9 penalties for 26 minutes for the Cleveland Lumberjacks. Another encouraging sign that I thought tonight was the fact that the Aeros defense really didn't make any mistakes per se. I mean, the big glaring mistakes. I can't think of an outnumbered rush tonight.
There weren't too many, and that's a positive sign. Like I said before, I think a lot of most of the goals the Cleveland scored were positive things for Cleveland, not necessarily negative things from the Aeros.
All right, Greener, thank you so much.
Thank you. It was fun again.
We'll see you again.
All right.
The Aeros fall 7-3 for Mike Greenley. Mike, thank you very much. Our next Prime Sports Houston Aeros Broadcasting Network game will be Sunday at 4 when the Aeros host the same Michigan K-Wings. They'll face Michigan on Saturday and then Sunday at 4 right here on Prime Sports and KPRC Radio. Once again, tonight's final score. The Cleveland Lumberjacks 7, the Houston Aeros 3. For Mike Greenley and Jody Goldstein, this is Adam Gordon saying good night from the summit.